shit. It's winter, summertime. You guys may have just missed my fucking scream I did there. But it's winter, summertime, folks. We're here. I still can't find our link to us being live on our own YouTube channel. Live. Wait, there it is. Nope, that's still not it. Mate, what the frig is this?
What do frick?
January Patreon stream. Why does it say January Patreon stream?
So go to content, live.
No, I see it. I found it. The title of the stream is January Patreon stream.
Oh, is it? Okay, you can
Yeah.
change that. Change it.
So needy.
Am I?
Yes, you are. You're the one up. You're on this side of the operation here, brother.
I was
Twitch
being
account.
rushed.
Rushed?
Yeah.
What do you mean rushed? You're fucking around trying to make a fucking thumbnail. I said, Michael, we gotta get started. And you went, man.
That's why I said I was being rushed. I didn't have time to change the title.
Oh, you're full of it.
Where's the chat? I need to see this chat.
Live. Live now. Edit.
Pop out the chat. What up, Otis?
All right, we've gone and done it. Don't say I never did nothing for you.
I love it. Hello, indeed, Otis. It is you. It is you, indeed.
Let's get this link in Discord.
Send up.
Okay, so that's okay. You want me to do it? All right, cool. XP.
You can't always be a passenger princess, Oxy.
I am when you're the one who mansplains how to stream to me and then hits go live and then doesn't want to do anything, sir.
Never satisfied.
Just like Hamilton.
Stop fighting? No. We'll fight. We'll keep fighting. It's okay.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, we're absolutely gonna keep fighting. And you're gonna like it, kid.
I don't know about you, but I want that KBD plushie so bad.
I don't even think I will enter, I guess, which like is gonna kind of fuck things up a little bit because I'll have to I should pull the stream up in a different window and just mute it so when I want to enter for something I don't have to take that down.
Yeah. All this OSRS stuff is really cool. Hello,
I know.
hello,
People are going
Gecko,
crazy.
Phalon, Folan,
Look at all these folks.
Nico, Elor, Loff,
Summit time.
Skull, Adam. So many Gooligans? Yeah, baby.
What the fucking Gooligans in here? Oh my god.
Howdy, howdy. Evening, gang. Is it evening? Oh, it is, I guess. It's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock for y'all.
For who?
The Oi Brevs.
Oh, it's 8 o'clock for the Oi Brevs right now,
Hold
I'm
on.
pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right. Damn.
Hello,
Ooh, I
hello.
want that crafting cape. That's sick. Maybe I can get my wife to make me a skill cape.
You could maybe make that one work. You can maybe finagle your way into that one.
It's 8 o'clock. Okay. Well, ooh, look at that. Look at that DDS.
It's pretty
Cool.
snazzy.
Pretty sick. If I do say so myself. How's the stream sound? Are audio levels good? Can y'all hear Oxy just fine if he's talking and there's music? You know what you could do, Oxy? Literally,
What? Other than dance to the gnome ball theme? What am I doing?
never mind. It wouldn't work.
Huh?
I was gonna say you could stream my stream, but that wouldn't work.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. I went over this mentally when we talked about
could.
doing Twitch and YouTube.
You could.
It's too late, baby girl. It's too late, baby girl.
We have 8
we'll let
minutes.
it cook for next time. We'll let it cook for. I don't feel like it, Michael. We'll do it next time.
8 minutes. All you have to do is window capture the stream from YouTube and stream it. You don't even need your camera. He's so over it.
Nothing sounds fun like a delayed, blurry, window captured, cropped live stream of something live on a different platform. That's terrible.
He's so over it, guys.
That's terrible. I am
Michael's
over
quiet?
it.
Why is Michael quiet? Well, I'm being quiet because my son is sleeping. But like,
lock them doors and turn the lights down low.
Is this better?
You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me better now?
You know what I'm saying?
Is it the right source?
Sounds like the right source on Discord.
Yeah, it's the right source. This is gonna be great, hopefully. Yeah. Seduce me with the dance moves. Michael's a bit quiet. Am I still quiet? Why is your son sleeping? Doesn't he know it's Winter Summit? He does.
That's what I'm saying, Redbeard. Wake his ass up.
Unfortunately, he doesn't know.
We got hype to get. Come on now. Get with the program. All right, guys. It's fucking prediction time.
Combobulation,
so,
hello?
I thought you said ovulation. It's not ovulation. It's my boy Jack. What's up,
change
Jack?
my hoodie.
Have fun. We're gonna speculate while you're gone, okay. Guys. What are we gonna see today? There's been a lot of talk that we're gonna see while Guthic sleeps. They did mention that something is finally coming to old school RuneScape, and they said specifically finally coming to old school RuneScape. So people have suggested while Guthic sleeps, that's probably going to be a thing. OSRS Fortnite, I'd be down. Big Varlamore quest, also probably. That's going to be the one that requires AKD. Perfect time for your kid to take a nap. Fuck yeah, dude. Agility rework. See, Run Energy is not going anywhere at this point. Run Energy is way too integrated into both the reward systems and the gameplay for it to be deleted. I think they're going to find ways to make Run Energy replenish faster outside of combat, which would be nice.
Fruit merge?
Let's see. Rest mode would be good. New prayer book part 2. I'd be hard pressed to think they're putting the prayer book out there. Yeah. Sailing 2025. They're probably gonna. They're definitely showing something for sailing, right? They're announcing the beta for sailing, right? They're the play test something for sailing.
Maybe.
It's got to be another major quest line from RS3. Yeah, people are. When I say people, I entirely mean Tiki. Because he's the fucking guy. He literally already did it. It's Wild Gothic Sleep, Sailing Timeline, Skill Rework, Varlamore Release, and Random QOL thing. Those are his guesses.
Ooh, we should put those on screen somewhere. Well, hold on.
I mean, what are our guesses, right? I would love to see Lord of Imperium. I'd love to see Lord of Imperium as the quest, like the big quest that gets announced today. Also, rock up to World 514 at Motherlode Mine. We're here. We're hanging out. We're having a blast. By having a blast, I mean I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jump.
Why is your audio that?
I'm this close.
What happened to your audio?
Jump. What happened to my audio? Hello?
Is it only on my end?
What's wrong? Hello?
Hold on.
2 small favors? Yeah, no thanks. I'm out. I quit. I send it back.
Sorry, it was all glitchy there for a moment.
Am I back?
I think you're back.
Okay. The Champions Challenge 2. That would be interesting because you could put shit from all over like Zaya in there and all the new areas. That'd be pretty neat for Champions Challenge 2. Yeah, audio sounds weird.
I think we're back.
Okay, let me know if the audio is better, you guys.
Anybody find a star? Can we roll up to a star?
Well, I found a star. It's it's next to the mining guild on World 514. So yeah, I'm We are big chilling here today, guys. Audio fixed, good shit. New Iron Man mode, please God.
Bronze
no.
Man? I would die down for that.
I've considered making my main a Bronze Man once I max, but
What else would there be to
know.
get? Like any new
Friggin-
items that come out?
yeah.
I love this song, by the way. Holy smokes.
It's
Who
loud
is
as
this?
fuck. I don't know why it's so loud.
It's not loud for me, but I can control the volume on the stream.
I mean, it just feels loud on my end because I have it turned up all the way so the stream can hear. Someone got a
don't have
Christmas
a-
tree with the AQPW on it. That's great.
I don't have a good way to
Removal of-
Falador.
Raven Alice in Discord says removal of rat catchers, and honestly, that could be funnier than shit. They
Wait,
just
who-
delete it.
People are talking in Discord? What channel?
The XP Waste chat.
Oh. Hey, yo, guys, if you're in Discord, hop over to YouTube and chat with us. Oh, maybe they're not replying to us directly.
I was just say they're not. They're just talking amongst themselves.
Games necklace.
Get to see some new things announced. Shinkiro, man, I wouldn't. I think you're right. I think we might just see some new stuff that gets announced today at the stream where they announce all the new stuff.
What's
How's
the
it going, my friend? How's it going?
I don't know if I can get to Falador Park while I'm not on the regular spellbook, so I'm just gonna switch back.
If you have a Ring of Wealth, you can
It's not charged.
charge it. You mumpty.
I think that would take
OSRS
more
EOC
effort.
drop seems counterproductive to the point of OSRS. You never know. I could be the one who's wrong here. You never know. Maybe we'll get something cool like further facial customization or like more outfits or something. Maybe that's what we'll get. Maybe we'll get like the cosmetic override when you're out of combat. Not like see that dips so much into I almost said RWT. That almost dips into like microtransactions too much, and I feel like that'd be terrible for the game. Like Jagex does have to make money, and I would rather have them make money through in-game cosmetic microtransactions than like selling power like most MMOs do. But I still think microtransactions aren't the best move for OSRS at the moment. It's too successful to put something this controversial out. No MTX. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're getting RS3's canceled avatar rework. We would need so much for that, dude. I saw a fucking picture on Twitter this morning. I actually quoted it because like they're reworking all of Kandarin right now in RS3 and it looks fucking good.
14 seconds.
Kandarin looks really good.
Wait, where's the star?
baby.
Is it underground?
It's time. Yeah, it's at Motherload Mine. 504. Oh, it's time, folks. Let's
Here
do
we
it.
go.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Old School Winter Summit. I'm your host Mod Aiza and I'm joined by
this
the
is
wonderful
live?
Mod Kieran. How the bloody hell are we?
I am good, really excited. We got a lot of awesome content to show you tonight.
We do, don't we? There's going to be a huge amount of content being shown off today. We're going to have various different JMods joining us in the studio, or should I say the cabin as we are now in. It's very cozy in here, so make sure you stay tuned. We've also got a whole bunch of giveaways throughout the entirety of the stream, so make sure you don't go anywhere because you'll have chances to win from the start all the way through to the end. Before we get into things, let's manage some expectations. I can already see over 9,000 of you spamming this in the chat right now. We don't have a release date for sailing, but what we will have for you is some really important and exciting information regarding your first chance at getting your hands on the technical alpha playthrough of the actual skill itself. So look forward to more information regarding that a little bit on. And I think you have something else to share with us too, Kieran?
Yeah, also, we're not going to be announcing any news about a new league just yet. Obviously, we've just wrapped up Trailblazer Reloaded, which has been amazing.
So no
We've seen
sailing,
so
no
much
league.
of your love for that. But it's a bit too soon to get into a new one just right
Thank
now.
God. Take your time.
But we do want to gather your feedback on the last league. Tell us a bit more about what you thought about it and so on. So we do have a survey set up for that. So !Summit in the chat and I'll give you a link to that survey.
That's actually fucking awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you for
We
the
should
update
pin
on that
these
one,
links.
Kieran. Now, you know what they say, life is
There's
like a box of chocolates. You
30,000
never know what
people
you're going to
watching.
get. But by the end of tonight, you will know what you'll be getting in the first few months of this year.
Well, let's have a look at the shape of our roadmap, shall we?
I think we should.
Can you still hear me?
Oh,
Ooh.
how exciting.
Okay, good.
Lovely question marks.
There are a
Who
lot of
knows?
question marks in there, aren't there?
We will fill that with a smorgasbord of content by the end of the stream, won't we?
I think we will, indeed. Now, if this is the first time that you've joined into a summit, we will be going through these periodically throughout the rest of this evening. You've got us for around about 2 hours or so. It's going to be a lot of fun. So as I said before, stay tuned. Before, I guess, we go into our first giveaway, maybe we can cover some of the things that won't be shown off in the roadmap reveal, some of our smaller updates. There's a lot to look forward to. The smaller updates definitely need some attention given to them as well. So let's talk about first maybe a precarious little rat, Scurious. So
Rat
during
boss!
last year's Summer Summit, we mentioned
It's
that we'd
fucking
soon
rat
introduce
boss!
some mid-level PVM
Hell yeah.
in order to
Roll
bridge
that
the gap
cheese.
between mid and
You
end
get
game
that cheese,
content.
Danny.
Now we know that Varlamore is going to introduce plenty of PVM options in the form of Perilous Moons, Fortis Colosseum. We're going to share some more information about that later on, but we're not going to stop there because Scurious the Rat King is designed to introduce core PVM mechanics and help newer players get to grips with combat. This rambunctious rodent, that's a word and a half. isn't it?
Rambunctious
And
rodent.
his trip you up there.
Yeah,
This
it did.
fucking thing.
They're going to test your knowledge of overhead prayers, your dodging skills, and your ability to manage multiple monsters during a fight.
Oh my god,
All
this
things
is
that
actually
you'll
kind
need
of
to
cool.
master
Whoa.
if you plan to take on tougher bosses later in your adventuring career.
Just
Oh,
like
so
Chad
blue
amazing
D'hide
in the
Rune
WK.
and like Mystic
In the
tiers are the
video.
weapons. That's pretty
Look,
cool.
it's a vibe, okay?
So, what about XP rates? It's offering us something a bit different reward-wise, right? Like, how are
Yeah.
we handling XP rates? What XP rates can we expect?
So, in terms of actual XP rates, we're going to be keeping the exact numbers close to our chest, obviously, as we go through the final phases of
means
balancing
they
and
don't
testing.
know.
We want to be sure that we can get an
Means
accurate
they
number
don't
before coming
fucking
out
know
and giving
what
it
the
to you.
experience
But
are gonna be.
what we will say is that we expect slaying Scurious to essentially be one of the most effective ways for you to train melee in particular, right up until the end game. Now, the reason for this is that
Really?
unlike traditional AFK methods like Nightmare Zone or Sand Crabs, you're expected to be paying full attention and having to interact with the game much more often. And unlike the gains that you might make along the way training something like Slayer, there's not
Rune
really anything
Mace.
else in it for you beyond the combat experience
It's
that you'll
the-
be getting.
yeah,
So
it's like the
that is
bone
pretty much what we're
weapons.
aiming at. It should be
What-
good.
okay,
Obviously,
what do
you know,
they
things like
define as
Magic have
endgame, do you think?
barrage, range has chin
Because
chompers, which can give you really
clearly
high
after this
experience
whole
rates. There's not
business-
really anything that
after
is,
this whole business
similar
with
when it comes to
fucking
melee.
the
So
Varlamore
we hope they
shit,
should offer a
you
really
would
cool,
think
fun and interactive way
that
of training. As
their
opposed to just
definition
sitting
of
there and
endgame
running
might be like
AFK, and if you don't
80s.
want to do that, you can
'Cause-
still AFK.
Fucking AKD is such a difficult
But
quest.
it's still a boss,
But-
right?
It is.
It's got to drop something.
It does.
What's it dropping?
Well, enter the Bone Whip. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Gosh.
No Bone Whip today. But we
No
do
Bone Whip,
have
Jesus
Rat
Christ.
Bone weaponry. There'll be a weapon for each of the 3 different styles. You have a mace for melee, a bow for ranged, and a staff for mage. And they'll help you fight against the actual boss
I love the
itself,
obby capes.
increase your damage potential, and then also increase your experience.
Yeah,
In
not a
addition,
single
you can get
backpack in sight,
spines, which
just
can then be
obsidian
redeemed
capes.
for experience lamps in combat XP
Elev
specifically.
808.
And then, of
Elev
course, it wouldn't be
808
a boss
made a
without
pretty
a
fire
pet, so we do
OSRS
have
jersey.
the Scurious pet
I'll
coming
check it out,
alongside
Google.
it.
Thank you.
Little skoo.
The little Skuru. I tried so hard for the pet to be called Skuru, and unfortunately, the team overruled me. But it was really close. One day
Skuru.
I'll get my wishes.
Scooby. Little Scooby.
And then I guess the next most
That was
important question is,
fucking great,
when's
dude.
it coming out? When can players expect this?
Real soon. And by
Real
real
soon?
soon, we mean next week.
I fucking
It's coming out on the 24th
Didn't
of
I
January,
fucking
so you
say
won't have
Rat
long
Boss
to wait
is
for
coming
this
out
one
next
at
week?
all. It's going to be our first big update.
Didn't I
coming
fucking
straight
say
Bro.
out
it?
of
Rat
the
Boss
website.
is coming out. That's the first thing they're
Awesome.
gonna announce.
We got to get
Well,
there on the
that's
groupies.
Scurious. We've also got some combat achievements to talk about.
yeah.
You'll have noticed it's been a while since we released Desert Treasure 2, and we haven't
Come
got
on.
them yet.
Fucking
Well, that's coming up
Blorva
very
GM.
soon
Here we
as
go.
well.
Blorva GM.
Get your gear together and get your practice in. Meow, as the 4 Desert Treasure 2 bosses will have their new challenges added.
You're not as subtle as me with that one,
No,
are you?
I
No.
thought I'd make it obvious. I'm setting the tone for the
Yeah.
rest of the rest of the show.
On God, I think I'm better.
With new challenges added, it means the thresholds for the combat achievement rewards will go up.
Oh, they
You may
fixed
need to
Kieran's
complete
mic. That's
some
good.
additional tasks to re-obtain your Gommel's hilt. But do remember, last year we made a big change to combat achievements and changed to the points system. which would mean it's a lot more generous than it used to be as well. When are those coming? Straight after the Rat King, the week following on the 31st
So 2 more
of
weeks.
January.
You really didn't want me to ask that question of them taking so long, did you? Went straight into the release date. I was prepped for it, but Kieran
They
said
have
no.
taken a while, and that's something we need to do better with future combat achievement rounds too.
That is a long.
Is there
You're
anything we can
right.
maybe
Like
talk on
Desert
that
Treasure
just
came out.
briefly,
in
for a
July.
moment? Because it has been quite a long
Damn.
time,
July
the
into the
longest period of
beginning of
time we've had
January,
since
end of
content
January.
has released
Yeah.
before combat achievements have then came out afterwards. What was the reasoning behind that?
So the approach
Why?
we took with the Desert Treasure 2 bosses, and indeed with the other bosses we released since combat achievements, is we've developed the achievements after the launch of the boss. The reason we did that was so that we could look at how a player's taking on the bosses, what times would be suitable for the challenge times, and all those
I
sorts
mean,
of things.
yeah, that makes sense.
So
But
they don't have to
That
rebalance
said,
it later.
That's caused some knock-on issues as developers have moved on to different projects, developing League 4,
so yeah,
for
they
instance.
pretty much did
and that's just
exactly what they
delayed
said
how
they were
quickly we've
doing.
been able to get
It
to them.
just
So that's something to keep in mind in future.
what's it
and
called?
We might adjust our approach.
They
to,
just
to not put
got
ourselves
lost. They lost
in
track
this
of time
situation
and shit.
again.
Yeah.
Sounds good, just in it, maybe we can all grow stronger.
This week, we've also made some adjustments to the Fang and Scythe, many of you might be happy about that. Some of you might be less happy about it. But that's just the start. We have many more positive changes coming with what we're dubbing Project Rebalance. It's a big umbrella of lots of different types of changes. More's coming to combat, whether it's gear, NPC stats, but also improvements to things like agility.
Ooh.
How annoying is it to run out of run energy?
Crack
I'm
my
passionate
fucking
about this. I
shoulder,
wanted it
Jesus.
changed for a while. Mining, we got highlighted last year, especially after shooting stars, that a lot of you really want to see better improvements made to core mining and all the different ways you
Yep.
can approach the skill. So we're going to be
Yeah, the
looking
Fang
at
did
that,
get nerfed.
adjustments to lower tier Slayer Masters and more.
It's not bad
Keep an
though.
eye out on blogs over the next couple of months. The next few
Don't
months,
sell it.
and we'll be tackling those individually.
Sell your
as we
fangs, boys.
go.
Sell them all.
Dude, their
Awesome.
desk looks
We gotta
sick.
merch 'em.
This
want
was
that
kind of
desk.
like our little intro, so we'll be getting into all
Dude,
of the
that desk
reveals
is fucking
very
fire
soon.
right
But
there.
before
Looks like
then,
just
there are some
repurposed wood.
really important things that we need to cover. Some of them, in a moment, being in regards to giveaways. So if you want to know how to win some stuff, then we'll tell you about that. But first, let's just remind you all that when we go through each of the reveals, there will be a corresponding blog going out at the same time. So check out the
We're
news
gonna have
page
so
over at
much fucking reading to
oldschool.runescape.com.
do.
You'll see all of them
So
being
much
updated
reading
with
to
loads
do.
more information that we've been able
Good
to
thing I
share
have my
here,
glasses.
But you'll be able to get live questions answered from the lovely mods as they join us, as well as all
Ooh.
the fantastic videos that the team have spent a massive amount of work and effort
They may-
on, putting together. They're incredible. So genuinely, I think
They
this
may
is an
actually-
absolute
Sailing beta will
amazing
be
show.
announced. I think
Uh,
they already
Maybe.
said they're not
Keep an eye out
gonna
for those.
give us
What
an
else?
announcement. So
Well,
You
they
may
said-
also realize
They said that
how
they won't announce the
excellent
date.
Azer is looking.
Oh.
And he's wearing some
Ooh,
brand
hold on.
new old school RuneScape merch.
What?
Too, actually.
No way.
How did that happen?
What is
I got a little
this?
this one, a little Jad in my pocket. He's very cute.
Zoom
Just coming
in,
out to
zoom
say
in,
hello.
zoom in.
Oh
They're
my
super,
god, we need to
super
zoom in.
comfortable. Really, really nice
Zoom
to wear,
in.
actually. I'm very
Oh
happy with
no,
them.
dude.
Yeah,
And,
pretty much every guest on tonight's stream, I think, is wearing something as well.
They
Yeah, we
need
got
to
the
zoom
J-Mod
in.
uniform
Oh
on
no,
fleek.
we're about to spend so much
It's
fucking
sick.
money. on this
They're not on sale
That's where the
just
Patreon
yet,
fund
but
is
it will
going,
be
boys. To get
literally
Oxy a
next
bunch
week,
of
so keep
new
an eye out for
old school
that.
RuneScape
Button ups.
shirts.
Yeah, and then lastly, there will be a huge poll at the end of the stream that is going to be greenlighting all of the content that we've been talking about so that you can give us the go-ahead to start early development, get ready with all the more detailed designs so that we can come back later on in the year throughout community
This is gonna be
consultation
good
and get
shit.
all of your feedback in to make sure that the updates are
Is
exactly
that a Varlamore
what you
shield
expect
on the
and love
wall?
from
I don't know,
old school
Dinky. It might
RuneScape.
be.
Now, we did mention giveaways, so let's get right into what you can get a hold of this evening. So this Winter Summit, we've collaborated with not one, not two, but 3 amazing partners to give you some of the hottest new old school RuneScape merch. It's fucking brilliant. Gee
What-
willikers, Mod Kieran. Wouldn't you say that this stuff is epic?
Yes, it absolutely
Thanks.
is. Not the way you put it, but but it is epic.
It is. So we're using Discord to run these giveaways. Make sure you join the official Old School RuneScape Discord
Get to
for
the
a chance
Discord.
to win. To be able to get a link and join over there, use !Discord. Details of how to enter are in the hashtag giveaway channel, so have a look. And just as a heads up, please don't annoy the mods over at Discord, because if you spam, it will not increase your chances of winning. It's just going to make you look like a fool. You'll end up getting timed out or
Oh,
something
okay,
like
that's
that.
cool. So you can
So,
literally
yeah,
enter
all of
for
the
each and every
information on
single
how
one
to
of
win
them.
will be there. You'll just have to react to the posts as they come live, and then we will go through and announce each giveaway as it comes on, which
Nice.
the first one being after the first reveal, which I think is
Tohi.
probably time
Hello,
that we
Tohi.
played a VT.
Okay, okay. Shh, 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 shh. Oh.
Hey, Ed.
Oh shit.
Hi. Wonder, could you tell me about that landmass you're working on off to the west?
Oh, yes, Valamor. Well, actually, why don't I show you?
God, they're so fucking corny.
I love this.
God, they're so fucking corny.
Ed, I don't think we're in Cambridge anymore.
Welcome to Civitas Illifortis. Beautiful, isn't it?
That's great, Ed. But have you noticed we've been turned into RuneScape characters? I haven't been this slim in years.
Don't worry about that. No, really, don't.
This is so cool.
Anyway, why don't I show you the Fortis Aqueduct? Oh,
RuneScape
check out this little
capybara.
guy. Capybara! Let's go for a swim.
Oh, stream
Yes, I'll admit that is cute, and this place is very interesting, but we still need to figure out how to get out of here.
Now come, you have to see the dwarves of Camtorum.
I want a Mod Ash
Dwarves built this?
NPC.
I didn't think it'd be so tall. It's incredible.
Now, believe it or not, these dwarves were once Lovercane dwarves. They fled south during Xeric's Age of Strife. They're independent from the Kingdom of Valamor, given the human habit of starting wars left, right, and center. So, humans aren't normally allowed in here without good reason.
Oh, is that why they're looking at us like that?
Area with
Yeah,
aggressive
we should
NPCs.
probably get going. The Hunter Guild is just south of here.
This is gonna be
Oh,
fucking
look, it has a
sick.
bar. That's good, my teacup's getting empty. Bum grapes, what was that?
Bum grapes?
Quetzals. The locals have trained them to be used as a transport network all around the kingdom.
They fly around on the back of those? I've always
Yo.
wanted mounts, but it sounds terrifying.
Oh, I forgot those are gonna be
reckon
pets.
I know where that one's heading. Come, I've got one final place to show you.
Gotta be the Coliseum. Yep.
Welcome
Hell
to
yeah.
Colosseum.
Let's go,
This is
baby.
a wave-based PvM minigame. The gameplay is heavily focused on reactionary combat and making risk versus reward choices between each wave.
I thought you said this place was PvM. Wait, is one of us an NPC?
This is. If that's the
Are
pet.
you
Like,
not
imagine if
entertained?
that's the pet.
Are
That
you
shit's gonna
not
be sick.
entertained?
There's a Minotaur.
This is so cool.
That's
Coming
gotta be
March.
March
Ah.
20th, 2024.
Wow.
Okay. We got a little time.
Got a little time. Okay, here we
Take
go.
one.
What is a Valamor? I mean, that's a very loaded question.
God, I don't know how to sum up Valamor. Valamor is like one of the biggest expansions we've ever made for old school. Entire new lands, entire new quests, entire new people. It's like a fusion of Rome and Mayan.
It is just so much content packed into one update.
We've got Civitas Illifortis.
We have the Colosseum,
Perilous Moons,
the Hunter Guild.
we have agility, we have thieving, we have combat, we have questing. There's just so much to get teeth up into.
I would love to have Mod West on the pod.
Any J mod on the pod. We're here for it.
What is Valamor? Valamor is hang on. So Valamor is the latest area.
Valamor is quite isolated from the world right now. It is a region that has not been
look at
accessible
this
by
place. What
anything
the
pretty much other than sea
So
or
cool.
very treacherous mountain pass. Those barriers are being opened up so that people can come
Sarnia
in.
would
To
be
some
cool
people,
too.
It'll be a landmass where
Oh,
there's
look at
some
that. That's the
content they
Hunter Guild,
engage
dude.
with.
Look at
Others,
that
it will be a sort of very story-rich push into the future for old school RuneScape's narrative.
Why is it being released in so many parts?
I genuinely could not tell you.
Because it's just so large. There's so much stuff
That
that
looks
we
fucking
really want
sick.
to do for Valamor, and trying to
Tohi?
do it all in one big go.
Welcome back.
We run a lot of risks of like burning out players as well as developers.
I think
That is before Springo, yes.
Take the learnings from batch 1.
Oh, that is before Springo, isn't it?
And yeah, it gives us the opportunity
That's
to
fun.
slowly unlock the world.
I get some new content on
He's
the
a
board this
senior
time
Iron
around, boys.
Birds.
You take a giant Quetzal and you fly the Quetzal into Valamor.
I mean, what's more fitting to access Valamor than going via boat?
Are you sure that's accurate? So Mod Sarni said that you go there via boat. Is he an idiot?
Yes.
What can you do when you arrive in the capital city of Civitas Illifortis?
crime. That's what you can do when you arrive in the
Crime.
city.
Civilization of the Fortis will be.
We need them on the podcast too. Crime.
Mod other? Yeah, that'd be great.
Museum, so you get a nice overview of the whole city.
We've got stalls for you to thieve from. We've got citizens and guards for you to pickpocket. We've also got a dog for
Wow.
you to pet for everyone that finds that a very valuable part of their gameplay.
Aww.
Yes!
Yeah.
So cute.
There is a dog in Varlamore. I would say, unfortunately, as much as I love the dog in Varrock, it's a big step up.
Oh.
Colosseum, man. Tell us
The Colosseum.
about the Colosseum.
The Colosseum is the biggest building in old school RuneScape. I think you could probably fit the pyramid.
You mean to turn it up?
TOA inside the middle of
You
the
can
Colosseum.
fit
It's
the
gargantuan.
fucking
There's a lot of
pyramid in there?
Small little dudes is the best way I can describe it. You've also got shield walls. You're going to have to maneuver around actual mobile terrain to block lines of
Wow.
sight, to block enemy pathing. But you have to be careful, because if you block line of sight to some of them, you're in trouble.
We really tried to like focus on a core set of creatures as well. We've got a manticore, sort of like this human
God, that's gonna be a
jaguar
sick
scorpion
pet.
hybrid. We've got the minotaur, which is very classic. I guess it's more Greek, but you know, Rome.
You think that'll be the
Greek,
pet?
just borrow from each other. We've got the colossi.
Either
quite
the
like idea
Minotaur.
of the
It could be. It's
Colossi
probably gonna be all of
sort
these at
being
some point, right?
referenced for a Colosseum, so you're fighting this
These are
giant
such cool
Roman statue,
NPCs, dude.
basically. We have this cool throne where the main boss is sitting. That's gonna be awesome. He's watching you fight. He's really disinterested until you
The
like,
main
get to him. He's like,
boss?
Okay, cool. I get it.
Dude,
Deal
they're
with him now.
taking
That's gonna
fucking
be exciting.
RS3 inspiration out of this, because that's what the Inferno is in RS3.
Catchphrase.
Zuck just like stop it. Zuck just like
Yeah,
sits
it's
and
stomping
watches
time.
you until the very end of the Inferno. I'm pretty sure.
The enemy in the Colosseum was actually the dog the whole time.
If that were the twist, I wouldn't tell you. No comment.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
There are
Jumping
multiple rewards
time.
from the Colosseum. Our first big ticket item is the Glaive of Ralos. This is a new type of ranged weapon which is thrown at the enemy and quickly returns to you. Essentially a boomerang,
Ooh.
but dangerous. The Sunfire Fanatic set is dropped in 3 separate pieces, a head, a body and legs, and acts as a direct upgrade to the Proselyte set.
Didn't they say they
Lastly,
weren't
Kaiser's Quiver
upgrading
will
the
be given as
Proselyte
a
set?
reward for your first completion of the Colosseum and is
Oh.
a direct upgrade to Ava's Assembly.
Ooh.
Look at that max cape upgrade.
That was cool.
No.
You like wrap your
Perilous
cape up in
Moons
it?
Is a
Yeah,
quest
that's
and
actually
a
kinda
dungeon
fucking
and a
sick.
set of bosses. The quest will focus on how this dungeon came to be discovered. It's a fairly recent event, and one that the dwarves who occupy the city above the cave have been a little bit distressed by.
So for Perilous Moons, I've been the one animating the new Nagwas, who are these new spirits, and they've been imprisoned in
Ooh.
the Perilous Moons dungeon underneath Kamtorum.
Okay.
It's just really cool to like be on the ground floor of animating these new characters and just exploring them, really.
We've designed the experience to be a repeatable one. Every time you enter the dungeon, your
Barrows
experience will
too.
be slightly tweaked. Not by extreme amounts, but you won't be having the same run twice.
We've got a lot of really cool new mechanics that you're going to have to learn, you're going to have to work out, things that will challenge you initially until they become second nature, and much like a Barrows run, you'll suddenly realize, hang on, I don't need to bring any supplies with me because I can do this perfectly.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
so on the Perilous
They're just
Moons rewards,
open
got
about
the
that.
Eclipse set that
That's
is going to
cool.
let you inflict an all-new damage over time effect, the burn. We've got the Frost Moon set that blends magic
cool.
and melee, so
Yeah.
that every time you cast a spell, you have a chance to sneak in a melee attack for some extra DPS. You have the Dual Mackerel Whittles, the Blood Rager set,
Ooh.
which is going to let you absolutely shred low defense enemies.
Love the aesthetics, so unique.
Dude, for real.
Oh my god, yes, the maracas of the Blood Rager set. I don't think they're going to play maraca sounds, unfortunately. It would be entertaining though, and I'm sure someone will make a way to do it.
The editing on this is top notch.
Oh, the Hunter Guild.
Hunter's Guild is intended to
I
pretty
love
much
that.
revolutionize the way you play a hunter. Right now, the hunter skill very much consists of
Herbivore.
birdhouses and black chinchompers, which,
Herbivore.
you know, good pieces of content, but we'd like it to be a bit
Man,
more
forgot
varied.
Herbivore.
The Hunters Guild is a must
that's what
for
I'm
both
saying.
aspiring and master
I love that
hunters.
buffalo.
You can take on
Capybaras.
rumors from the hunters there and capture creatures from within Varlamore
Ooh.
or around the world.
Jaguars
Not only
and
that, but you
shit.
can walk away with some nice rewards to boot, including learning the Varlamorean way of cooking hunter meats that will give them an extra flavor and bring out a unique healing over time.
Minecraft eating sound.
You can't eat the capybaras.
Okay, I'm ready to tank it. Yeah.
Can you please tell us about some of the lore behind Varlamore?
Some of the lore behind Varlamore. It has a deep lore. We have lore about the genesis of the city. We have lore about why the Colosseum is there and what was there originally. We have lore of the dwarves. There's lore of the Valamorians and the rest of the lands. We got the Fremeniks in there, and they have their own reason for. I know we have lots of lore. I don't necessarily know the particular bits of lore. I can't open the book and start telling the story, but oh god, there is so much lore. There is bigly lore.
Bigly lore. It sounds like I'm talking to Tiki.
Valamor has been an absolutely enormous team effort, and not just the internal team, but the players as well. Everyone's come together on this one. I think we've made something really memorable and profound.
Valamor's been a mammoth effort. People at every level, in every role, have contributed to Valamor in some way or other, and seeing it all finally come together, all of these threads being sort of woven into one big rope of Valamor.
Not only is it going to be a massive piece of content,
More like
there has been
Valamor, get out.
so much passion poured into this, and we want to make sure that we
should be promoted.
Everyone the most
Oxyr
they
out.
can get out of this
Tiki's
piece of
in.
content.
I think you're really going to feel like
Honestly?
you're in RuneScape, but some way you've never
Fine
been
with
before.
that.
And I think that's going to be like one of the greatest parts of it.
He's already got the
I
lore
think
master
players should
role.
get excited for this because it is just so much content packed into one update. We're hoping that this is going to be content that people can dig into for months at a time.
Dude, years.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it's good. Just be excited for Valamor. It's just gonna kick ass. Like honestly, I don't know if I can say that, but I've said it. So
You can say it.
yeah, it's gonna kick ass. It's gonna kick ass. Get ready for it.
Valamor, woo! Not a total surprise, but we do now have a release date, March 20th, just a couple of months away.
Two-ish
really
months?
exciting. It's a massive expansion.
Right?
And now
Hell yeah.
joining us on the sofa are Mods Rice
They're on a
and
sofa?
Mac.
Oh.
Welcome to the stream. We've got some questions.
They
for
have
us
sofas.
to Find out a little bit more.
That
about
set is
Valamor.
so cool.
So,
Right? It's
starting
beautiful.
with the Colosseum, how does this differ to
They
the
need to turn
existing
Kieran's
wave-based
mic back
minigames
on.
we have in game?
I think there's definitely elements in terms of combat and gameplay that are going to feel very familiar to people that have done like the Inferno and the fight pits. I think it's the loop mainly that feels different. Unlike with the other two wave minigames, there's less of an investment. So you go in, you can fail, and you don't really feel terrible. You know, if you get clapped at wave 40, you're not going to rage quit. I think the loop is very different.
Feel that on
W.
Feel that on a
There's lot of
fucking
agency over when they
spiritual
leave.
level.
They can see their
Nothing
loot, they can
says
see what their
disappointing like
modifiers
getting to
are
the
that are
final
coming up
boss
next.
for the 6th time
And they can
and
decide
then
if they want to
dying
continue,
like a shitter
which is
because
really
you
cool.
can't, you don't know what a tick
There's
is.
an element of randomness to it. Like not every run
do
is going to
not
be the
miss
same,
that time.
which is really neat.
Let me tell you, I do not miss it.
And I think those two elements really help to sort of distinguish it from the other base minigames.
Yeah, I think it's just shorter, right? And so when you don't have to invest an hour and 30 minutes, you just have to invest 20. You get clapped at 10 minutes. Yeah. Go again.
There's less of a like a, I'm going to beat it once and I'm basically done with it. This is something people will come back to and keep on.
That's what we're hoping.
Doing
I
again
like
and
that.
again.
It's something you can farm and learn that way.
And something you can sort of gradually improve at. You can get to wave 3 and then aspire to get to wave 6. It's not like leaving at wave 3 is a failure. It's just a smaller victory.
Well, like that. Smaller victory. He's good on camera for your first time, I have to say. On the summit even. Okay, so let's say I'm not someone who can beat the Inferno. Obviously, a hypothetical situation, because, well, I can beat the Inferno, right?
That's me.
Do I still have a reason to care about this content?
For what it's worth, I can't beat the Inferno either, which is terrifying as someone working on the Colosseum. But there absolutely is a reason for essentially everyone who's going to Valamor. There is a reason for you to go to the Colosseum, check it out. Aside from the fact it's just fun, there's a ton of rewards. Well, not a ton, but there's plenty of rewards for people at the lower end.
That's why they didn't
to
quest
sort of
lock
make your
it,
time
baby.
worth it.
So the
Going
lower
there,
end players
giving it a
off the
go.
boat could get right into
We've
the
got things
fucking
like, bank
Coliseum.
unlocks,
Let's do it. That's
an
that's
agility
called the
shortcut,
Dragon Slayer 2 skip
just
right there.
Stuff
Just
that's
get into the
general quality of
Coliseum.
life
You're
that
all
will
good.
mean You want to go there.
Cool. Definitely a reason then throughout.
He's pissed.
Me? What?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like,
No.
big one is farming patches, right? We love farming patches, and unlocking a second one, you need to beat, like, wave 2 with a decent amount of glory, and you've got that. That's not particularly
farming
hard to do
patches.
for someone who's beat the fight caves, so if you arrive in Valamor, you're probably going to want to head to the Colosseum, even if you can't get to wave 12.
Yeah, for what it's worth, despite developing and designing the Inferno. I haven't beat the Inferno myself. So don't let that be a worry that you can't beat the Colosseum either. I think he could still make awesome content regardless.
Kieran doesn't have an Infernal.
And I don't mind owning up to it.
That's
I'm
wild.
not ashamed, unlike Aiza.
I'm not ashamed. I just let you read between the lines.
Moving on from the Colosseum, we have something that's a bit like Barrows. The comparison was made with the Naguas. What's been the most difficult part about creating something like that?
Yeah, I think creating like rewards that mid-game players are going to be like.
How is it
really
a DS2
for,
skip? You don't know. You don't need the assembler.
Like
the DS2 skip.
interesting,
I
and they fit
designed
somewhere
the
between
concept myself.
the
I
top
know
and
it's a
middle,
Dragon Slayer 2 skip.
Has been a challenge. Like we really want people to,
Dragon Slayer 2.
you know,
More
try
like
out
Dragon
Barrows and
Slayer
think,
who? Am
what
I
should do
right,
next,
fellas?
and go
Let's
here.
get to the
And
Colosseum.
finding stuff that those people, like reasons for them to go beyond like best in slot upgrades.
You know what I'm saying?
Has been one of those
Yeah,
challenges.
he knows.
And
He
creating a
fucking
fun
knows what I'm
combat
saying.
loop that people can integrate into without much knowledge beyond that which Barrows has given
You
them.
see, they just like flash their desktop.
Well, I think that Valamor looks absolutely stunning, to be honest. Seeing the visuals throughout that video was enough of a real
Was that
punish,
you?
personally. But what's
Oh,
it
that
been
was
like
you.
as developers to see the art team bring the whole of the
Did
content
it?
really to life?
Yeah, it flashed your desktop for a second, but it's
Particularly
fine.
insane for me.
It
because,
shouldn't have. That's weird.
You know, this is
Like it
first
was
project I'm
literally a
working
split
on,
second.
and
Yeah,
I've gotten
whatever.
to work with some like really talented animators, really talented character artists. You saw them in the video. The Nagua look great. They look fantastic.
I do
and
love
the
their shirts.
dungeon
Oh my
looks
goodness.
just as good. You haven't seen all of
Yeah,
it yet.
so we've got-
but,
are they both
yeah,
wearing the
it's
same
just
shirt with
a
Jad
really
on it?
impressive piece of work.
I think so.
And the rest of
Okay, I'm
Valamor
gonna
too.
look
Like
at the
it's
website.
such
Yeah,
a
I'm
big
gonna check
landmass.
the budget right
So
now.
much love and care has gone into
OSRS.
like every single square.
Just gonna
so,
look it up.
yeah.
I'm gonna go to the
Very
fucking.
it's the same
Where's the merch
story on
store?
Every project I've worked on, you start off and you've got like grey cubes, you've got like some Inferno NPC hanging around somewhere, and as time goes on, everything just starts to click
that's
into
fun.
place, and it starts to feel like a real piece of content.
What?
And it makes your content.
He was saying
go
that
up
like in
immediately.
concepts they use
the
like
Colosseum,
cubes
it
and
started off as just
other
a big
NPCs, but they
circle,
try and get the
basically,
mechanics down
as
for the
I'm developing,
Colosseum.
I'm seeing like another
And then
level
it slowly
being added,
builds
and
up.
There's pillars.
So it must be interesting. You just log in one week to, on your updated stream, and it's suddenly there's just new things there
Yeah,
for you to
so cool
play
to
around
see.
with.
The other major piece of content we mentioned is a Hunter Guild. Can you tell us a bit more about like why we chose to do Hunter rather than a different skill?
I think Hunter has just generally been neglected a bit over the years. From internal and player surveys, we found that Hunter is just one of the top things that needs a bit of love. It needs a guild as well. It hasn't had a guild for forever. And yeah, it's just felt like an appropriate place to do it. You've got like a big savannah, kind of like a wild area, so.
It all pulls together naturally,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I think as well, like, there's just so much variety already in the
Tiki's
Hunter
bored
zone.
already.
You've got, like, these gruks that you poke and you have to jump over things, and you've got butterflies
I didn't want to
and
say it,
birds,
but
you
like,
don't actually do any of it.
What's
So
next?
it's like, okay, let's give people a reason to actually
They have
go
2
and
hours
engage
to
with this
fill here. We're
content,
only 30
because
minutes in.
Oh,
everyone's
it's a
doing
2
bird
hour
which is
show?
Fine, but,
Yeah.
we want
Shit.
variety.
I thought it was
in
only
the
an
game.
hour and a half show.
I like the sound of that. I think it is very much needed because you're right. There is so much content available in Hunter that no one bothers with because there's just no.
So
real
what I'm hearing is I gotta fucking.
change that.
We're gonna
Atlas,
have
so
to like.
what part of
We
Valamor
finished
are you
the
most
summit.
excited about?
Peace out, everybody. I'm gonna
It's really
change
cool,
and then
but
immediately
for
get
me,
in the
it's
car
gotta be
and
the
leave
Colosseum. I
for
can't wait to see
for the
players
date
get in
because
there.
I think I told her I'd meet her
I'm
around
excited to
5:30.
see
So
how difficult they actually find
so
it.
we're
People
gonna
have been
we're
asking
gonna
for
get moving. You know what I'm
difficult
saying?
content for a
Gotta
while.
book it.
I think this is going to be the one. I think this is going to really push players to the limit.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Hunter Guild.
Yeah, excited to see people get into that.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I was involved throughout the design of the Colosseum, and I think it's incredibly cool. But
Can you come on the
I
date
worked
with
Charles,
you?
man. It's the first
If
thing
it
I've
goes
worked on.
poorly,
I'm
but
so
I don't think
excited
it will.
for people to get
So
their hands
You're
on it.
allowed
yeah,
to be
sure.
biased,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not.
fine.
I'm actually
You
not
know,
going to be that
I
far
wanna see
away from
people
you.
love it. I want to see people
Claire, I
tear
gotta
it to
level with you. I don't think I'm gonna be that
shreds.
far
I
away.
want to see what people think
'Cause
of
I-
what we're putting forwards. We've got
I
some new
moved.
concepts going in there. A little bit less
Live
reliance
stream
on
the
the
date?
bank.
Yeah, no, I don't think I will.
Just exploration integrated with the combat loop. It's a bit new. Want to see how people receive it.
I know everyone's like RuneScapers nowadays are all like, oh, we're so efficiency minded, we don't want to waste our time. I'm just like, the vibe of Valamor looks incredible, doesn't it? It feels like RuneScape, but quite a different direction, and I really quite
Hopefully
like
in a
seeing
good
that sort
way.
of thing. The viaduct, that looks
Trust.
incredible. So I'm looking forward to seeing people's reactions just to exploring the continent as well, because how often do you get to explore a huge new area of land that you just don't know every tile of, basically?
Yeah, I think Mod Ed put it in a really elegant way, is that like a part of RuneScape nostalgia is leaving Lumbridge and not knowing what you're going to run into, you know? Is it Varrock, is it Draenor? None of us have that anymore. We know the map like the back of our hand. And Varlamore is going to be a place where it's not nostalgic in that you played it back in the day, it's nostalgic in that you're experiencing the same thing again.
Yeah.
I think Mod West touched on it a little bit in the video there, but it really does feel like this kind of sunny paradise. It's really nice there. And I've found when testing, just teleporting back to Varrock, it feels a bit depressing. It's like going
It's the dog.
It's like going to Slough, you know.
It's like the flea-covered dog, and then you go to Varlamore and this like fluffy thing. The dog.
Oh no, I ended up in Scunthorpe.
We'll see if players feel the same way after they've been obliterated inside the Colosseum for a few days, because they may end up thinking it's just as depressing as Varrock then. So, yeah, I am extremely excited though, because Varlamore is really it's the biggest real release that we've had come out since we changed our whole polling approach and keeping that little element of mystery behind it. Obviously, players know the main pieces of content coming out, but there is a whole landmass to explore, and I know that you guys would have filled it full of all cool and quirky little pieces of content and Easter eggs throughout, and that's one of the things I love doing, is running around just right-click examining and seeing how goofy everyone has been. So that is awesome. We had a couple of questions coming through the chat, so if you do have questions from the chat, by the way, if you're at Old School RS, we'll try and get them in. We don't have a huge amount of time to capture them all, but I do just want to quickly ask, in terms of the Colosseum, players are wondering whether it's going to be co-op or solo content.
It's purely solo. There's currently no plans for any multiplayer there.
No boosting here.
No boosting, unfortunately. Well, there you go. There you have it. And then
They
the
used
last one from the
unfortunately
chat is,
in Discord during
what
it.
kind of
Listen,
gear do you expect
motherfucker,
players
I was
will need to be able
messaging in
to fully
Discord
complete
during
the
it
Colosseum? Are we talking
because
like
I
engine, bisc
tried to
gear,
tell you to reach out to the
or
other moderator who
gonna be okay
wasn't
for
on a
mid-level?
date, and that other moderator
mid-level
just
setup will
fucking
get you
ignored you guys all
a few
evening
waves in,
long.
but like if you're
And
Yeah, 'cause
the
I'm trying to
plan
watch the
was to
summit.
get it
boss,
out
I
on
think you're gonna need
Friday.
some in-game gear to really
Dog,
get
I
over the
watch
line.
the summit.
I think
Varlamore
we've
is.
seen,
You just don't want to be put on blast on
people
live
beat the
TV.
Inferno
Don't
in
do that.
ridiculous gear.
Don't
You
do
watch the
that.
summit and see someone in Mystics complete
You
it, but
Inferno?
people
'Cause
have.
I'm
So, we can sit
underprepared.
here and go like, yeah. I mean, we had a playtest recently, and everyone was in like max gear Torva, and they were like just barely scraping by. But who knows what our players will achieve? Because honestly, some of them are just cracked.
It's skill dependent, right?
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
All right, brilliant. Well, thank you both so much for joining us on
Giveaway,
the sofa.
giveaway,
I hope everyone at home
giveaway.
is excited for Varlamore Batch 1, which is coming out on the 20th of March. If you haven't already, check out the blog for all the information. There is a big bumper blog. It's the biggest one that we put out. Thank you for the team to getting that one
big
together
blog.
last minute. But I think it's time that we kicked off a giveaway. And our very first giveaway is going to be for some of the old school RuneScape LED lights from Creator Crafted. Let's take a look at these legendary lights, because they are kick-ass indeed.
First! I was in there first!
3
I was
lucky
in the
winners
first
will be going
20.
home with the Elysian Spirit Shield, the Twisted Bow, as well as a PK Skull LED. You can see that we have, thankfully and graciously modelled there by Mod Rice, the Elysian Spirit Shield. Just behind by the shoulder is the Twisted Bow, and you can see above Mac we've got the DMed helmet and the Teleport to Home spell as well, which you can grab from the website.
Sorry, guys, you can't
But yeah,
see
I
it.
think they're awesome. You can obviously see how well they come out on the
I wonder how
screens
much
here,
those
and
are.
this is a really well-lit
Because
room as
Creator
well. We have
Crafted
lights
isn't
blaring
through.
into our faces,
It's not the
so
same
imagine
people
what
we
it
were
would look
talking
like in
to,
your
right?
bedroom when you sat
Yeah.
there in the dark playing
It's
RuneScape
not,
all
or
night,
it is?
because
It's not.
Let's face it, that's what
Okay.
we're all doing. At the
I'd
end
be
of the
interested
day.
to see the price
Now,
of
as
the
I said, we'll
Creator
be giving away all
Crafted
three
stuff.
of these exciting
There's
items over the next
nearly
20 minutes or so.
3,000
So to be
people.
sure to check out the hashtag giveaway channel in our official Discord and react to the giveaway bot in order to win. Now, if you want to check out the full
This is
range
for the
of the
Ellie.
lights
They're
and
doing
mouse
for the
mats, use
Ellie.
exclamation mark Creator Crafted in the chat. That will send you a link over to the store. And as a celebration of the Old School RuneScape Winter Summit, if you'd like to purchase them yourselves, if you simply use the link in the chat or enter Summit at checkout, you'll get a special 10% discount off the entire range. For our next reveal, though, it's time to wake up, grab a brush, and put on a little makeup, because this one's going to bamboozle you all. Let's roll the VT.
Are we getting new character
I'm Rob,
cosmetics?
Senior environment artist on Old School, and I'd like to talk about our art and engine technology.
Oh wait.
Old School's visuals are charming, timeless, nostalgic, and through multiple community-made mods, also very customizable. For some time now, we have been working on ways to update our technology to provide improvements to the overall visual quality of our game and add more options for our players. Today, we are ready to talk about it. We are thrilled to announce a major overhaul to our rendering technology with the introduction of the latest version of RuneTech.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
This is a brand new renderer that's going
There's
to allow us to push old
no
school's visuals and
way.
performance to new levels of quality and provide modern quality of life improvements that our players have come to expect. So, what will this look like? To begin with, we'll be replacing the current renderer with RuneTech. Once released, players can choose from 2 graphics options inside the settings menu. The first of these modes is SD. This mode runs RuneTech with custom emulation features, allowing us to run the game to the original 2007 look with pixel perfect accuracy, while taking full advantage of RuneTech's modern rendering improvements. For those who want a truly traditional feel, this is the mode for you. Unchanged, forever 2007. For those players who want to take the visuals further, we have our new HD mode.
Okay.
This contains all the original models and maps, but adds multiple new rendering features
Look
to
at
enhance the
that!
experience. Let's take a deeper look at our current in-client progress and show how some of these new
Dude!
features work. RuneTech's renderer allows for fully dynamic lighting of the game world, including dynamic sunlight and control over indirect lighting intensities. We have exposed control over all these features through our new debug tools. We have also introduced volumetric lighting, which adds volumetric fog and God ray support to our main source of sunlight. Fog is also supported through a feature called light scattering. This system creates believable fog fall-off that interacts with the scene geometry,
is gorgeous.
sunlight, and
117
volumetric lighting
who?
to create
Oh,
consistent
dude,
and
I don't want
grounded
to say
quality detail.
117 who, but like, dog. This is like.
Along with the introduction of improved anti-aliasing solutions and screen space ambient occlusion, we can create compelling lighting settings
talk
that
about it in a
elevate
second.
the old school experience, but remain true to the feel of the game world and the characters within it. Let's take a look at some more examples of these systems in action.
Oh, baby. Do you remember years ago when we were talking about 117? And I said, if Jagex did something like this, they'll probably have a oh, God, the Blood Altar. They'll have a distinct advantage,
Yeah.
right? Because I was like, everyone's in Rune
in-house.
Arbor, but they have a scythe, right? Like, oh my God. Holy shit.
Oh, they picked the Elysian winner. Now they're doing the Tebow one.
Fog, get in there and react,
And win.
folks.
This is where we are currently at, but that's not all. We are actively
That's not all?
implementing even more amazing RuneTech features. These include RuneTech's brand new
What the
optional real-time
Shut the fuck up!
That looks so
Our
With
plan
sailing
is
coming
complete and
out!
rolled out prior to sailing.
Oh!
We've also been researching skydome systems, allowing us to add clouds and
Ooh.
additional atmospheric effects to the skies. This
Oh,
will allow us the
oh
ability
my
to craft bespoke
God.
lighting settings for all the different biomes found across the game world.
This
And
is
finally,
gonna look
we cannot light the
fucking
game world without point
awesome.
lights and emissive material systems. This will allow us to have glowing fires, magic, and projectiles that will give the appearance of emitting light. In this example, we have attached a dynamic point light to the mouse cursor and enabled shadow casting, all courtesy of RuneTech. Both modes will be available on all platforms, including mobile devices, and players can switch between each graphics mode at any
On
time.
fucking mobile?
We are building HD to stay authentic to the pure old school style and feel, while building a strong foundation for the future. This is not all. RuneTech
Dude.
opens up exciting possibilities for future engine updates and plugin support, giving more control to the players with how they experience old school.
My
Dude.
We are hoping to have a playable alpha in your hands very soon,
This
followed
shit-
by an always-on beta once we are comfortable with its performance. We are thrilled to share this news with you today, and you will hear from us again soon.
That's awesome.
First of all, oh my God, OSRS HD. I'm sorry. That's fucking incredible.
There we have it, the very first look at old
Oh
school
my
RuneScape
God.
in
They're going to
HD.
fucking blow
Oh my
this
God,
away. I'm
I'm
really
so
interested to see
excited
how
for
this
this
interacts
game.
with
It's been
places
a long
like
time coming.
bloat
I know
or
we've spoken about
Phazani's
it
where
many
shadows
times over and
matter
over, but
for
you finally
projectiles
got
falling
to
from the
see it.
ceiling.
And to help us
But
answer
like,
all of your questions, we're joined by the
holy
absolutely
shit,
fantastic
dude.
Mod Sween
Ice
and
Nine
Nick.
Chill says my
Welcome both to the
my
sofa.
my
How are you
iPad's
doing?
gonna
Very
explode.
well, mate. How are you?
I feel
Really
that.
good, thank you.
Hey, maybe they'll talk about
I'm
the
feeling-
shadows
I'm feeling
thing.
pretty good, Meow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say it's going well. How about you, West? How are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Really
Good.
excited to talk about some
Sween, what is that haircut,
Let's
my
talk about
guy?
HD then, shall we, Kieran?
Alright, shall we get into some
Look, man looks like a
questions? Let's go.
statue.
Let's
You're
do it.
criticizing his
middle-
haircut?
Just
the
to
middle
clarify,
part.
players were unsure. How is this
Not the
HD
middle
mode going
part.
to work in terms of like what client is it available on and so on?
So this is just on official clients, but not the old legacy one. So essentially, any C++ one, so the Steam client, the one on the launcher, and also mobile. too.
So
Well,
not
I was just
RuneLight.
going to ask, does that mean that it's available on mobile?
Does mean that, yes. So at the end, you'll see Mod West. He was playing on mobile as real footage, not
Not
green screen.
RuneLight.
So HD on mobile for the first time ever.
That is awesome. I can't wait.
That is sick. Like all the other C++ features, right?
Exactly.
Available on mobile. Awesome. So what does this mean for other
Interesting.
game clients like
Oh,
RuneLight?
okay, hold on.
Players have already been playing through things like 117scape on RuneLight or even through H. That's a different client.
So it means nothing for them. We're not getting rid of any other client. Players can still play using clients. Let's be honest, I'm probably going to be using RuneLite more often than not because it has plugins and stuff like that, right? But they can't use these features because it's related to the client upgrades we've made on our own client. It's our own client tech, so it's not like we're withholding it. It's just not available to them. So players who want to use RuneLite and play with 117, carry on doing that. Players who play using HSTOS, carry on doing that. So like, a little bit off topic, right? So we were thinking, we know there'll be a lot of people watching and saying, well, who's this for? Because we're all using desktop, we all play using RuneLite anyway. Hey, I don't even use HD. I use low detail. I use low detail personally. But the summit is about a transparent look at what we're working on. So it's the right time to announce it. I mean, you mentioned we spoke about HD before. Years ago, first came up with the 117 stuff, and we kind of butchered that whole situation, and we kind of waited and we're biding our time to add something concrete to show. And that, what we saw is actual real footage. So we're getting closer and closer to it.
Thank you. We'll touch on the API stuff a little bit later, but let's talk more about HD itself. Why will HD release as a beta and not a full feature?
So the reason we're going with a beta is we want to make sure we want to get the, get some feedback. We want to make sure we get all the base features down first. Get some base lighting down. Then we want to iterate over that, make sure that the players can give some feedback on that.
He's so disappointed.
Any additional features.
Fuck the RuneLite, dude.
For that. Yeah, I mean, we've just got some great features basically.
No, it makes sense. I think we've seen in the past what happens if we try and do too many things too quickly. So
I mean, it's a very old renderer, with that's been replaced. So we want to make sure that we get we do it slowly, make sure we don't change too much at once.
Players have played this game a long time, right? They really care about the look of it, so it makes sense to make sure we get their buy-in, their feedback as we go as well.
New giveaways up in Discord. Go react to it.
One thing that might concern players as well is like, is this going to make updates take longer, right? Is graphics time going to have to go up and all this sort of thing? Yeah. So do you think HD will increase dev time?
It's an understandable concern, because obviously it will increase a little bit, but it's going to be marginal in the grand scheme of things. Adding that sort of finishing lighting pass. I mean, we went back and looked at like some older projects like TOA, Does Treasure 2, maybe like a 2-3% increase in like how long it would take to sort of do those passes. So ultimately, it's not going to be noticeable. We're very keen to make sure that development doesn't slow down because of this upgrade.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that was one thing that's constantly been emphasized internally, especially, is that it's about adding extra features and tools to aid what you're doing rather than make you having to do something new, right?
Yeah.
We know players wouldn't want this if it meant they get less stuff otherwise.
Yeah.
So we're able to balance that up.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways it's going to increase the speed of some of the ways we work. The current renderer does hold us back in some regards, and having that sort of new technology will mean that we have
I'm sorry,
additional features
that is the most,
that we wouldn't be able to change before.
like,
I mean,
oh, that hurts so bad, Michael.
Things always turn out
that feels so bad.
Renderer with RuneTech, we won't have that issue anymore. So we can, even.
I think we're getting closer to a world where the official client
for example, I'm thinking back to
has the same plugins as RuneLite, and we just use the official client.
As if they were in game, but when they are in game, they're actually darker and
Listen, I'm not opposed to that, but like at this point, the big issue I see for myself as a player and for a lot of players who have been using RuneLite for a while.
For releasing additional features like we saw the water and the point lights as well.
Interested to hear these dates though.
We're going to start with just going through like with the beta, getting like the core features in, and then once we've got some feedback, we know that they're stable, well optimized. We'll then start looking at like.
Alright, so no real time frame. Cool. Listen, I get it. I get it. They're trying to make the official client get close. I want to see them.
Lights look a lot nicer.
Like it would be awesome if they're like cool.
So many
like
things, and even beyond.
Like here's a way for you guys to take your RuneLite plugins. We've sat with Adam. And we can just import them to the official client.
I'm very excited
because the probably two biggest reasons why people, three biggest reasons why people are going to struggle going from RuneLite to official client are bank tags, ground markers for like tiles, and what's it fucking called? Menu entry swaps. Those are probably going to be the three biggest reasons because we know they're working on ground items, so that will come. They'll have to find a way. I know they're working on stuff, right? I know they're working on stuff, but until they can merge what's already existing in RuneLite to the official client, I think they're always going to be in two different camps. And I hope they do that. I'm not saying I don't want them to, because I want to stay on RuneLite. Like if they put RuneLite on the official ones, I know. Again, I get it, Tiki. I know
ground markers.
No, I'm saying they ground items, right? We know they're working on that. We know that exists. It exists on mobile at least. I don't know if it's on the C++. Spencer, yeah, also clues, right? Quest Helper. I don't really feel Quest Helper is super crazy. Tiles are coming with mobile UI. I can't wait for that fucking mobile UI. I hope they talk about that at some point.
I think they will. It'll run better. So, if you are wanting that old look, you're gonna have a more smoother experience.
Now, I've experienced this myself.
I talked
at times. There are some areas in game that can take more resources in order to be able to process. I think Fossilana is one that comes to mind, especially in the swamp area. Will they have the same issues, or potentially even be worse if we're going into something like HD?
So from the testing done so far, the optimization of this, it's much better already. I think we can push it even further and make it even faster. But yeah, some of those core areas that Fossil Island, just this new technology is just much better.
Why didn't you plan a date during the Lions game? The Lions aren't playing today.
Way smoother.
Okay, so it could actually improve it with better graphics and run smoother.
Oh, the client. Oh, they're coded in Java.
Tomorrow at 3.
What about after HD release, right? We've listed.
I was going to say, the Lions do not play today.
Are there going to be more features that come after the launch of HD?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, we could.
I was about to be so disappointed if it was today. I'll tell you, Otis, I was going to be so sad.
A lot cooler, add more graphics features in the future. The idea is to really open.
Yeah, and there clues do exist on mobile. The one thing that pisses me off about clues on mobile, they have solutions for everything except the goddamn puzzle boxes. Like the fucking slide puzzles. And I don't know how to do those in real life, so whenever I get one of those, I either drop the clue or just stop doing it on mobile until I can get to desktop.
Well, I mean, this is probably your forte, really, but since you're asking the question, I'll answer for you.
Yeah, well, I'm the host now,
So the community team, just like yourself, the artists, the dev stuff, they'll be scouring all over socials. They'll be looking at the reaction in the chat and stuff too. But we'll also be looking to target players who have actually engaged in the beta with surveys. We'll be able to find them, play a list, maybe send them some stuff using in-game messaging or emails, that type of thing too. So we'll reach out and kind of cast
I didn't win
wide
any
net
of the
as possible
giveaways.
to try and get as much feedback as possible.
Yet. You didn't win any of the giveaways yet.
I think they're all done.
Over to me in the next
With the LEDs
that
at
will
least.
be really helpful.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you.
There's more giveaways.
Before we do move on, there was a mention about maybe some sort of plugin API. Can you tell us a bit more about what that is?
Yeah, so right at the very end of the video, Mod West mentioned like the prospect of all this stuff enables the possibility of plugins. So we are exploring working on our own kind of plugin API. Essentially, the plugin hub on Moonlight, but on our own client too. It means like we'll be able to surface additional information that perhaps people can't get on Moonlight, because a lot of the kind of Moonlight plugins is mainly guesswork based on what they can see, whereas we're able to we're hoping to be able to feed info directly. So it's really exciting. I think this is the most exciting prospect because I've seen the chat, right? I'm out the corner of my eye. All right, look, now it's gone from L to W. Sweet. Who could have guessed that?
It's almost like when people start reading the blogs on content, and it's like, if only they'd address this, and then it gets addressed right afterwards.
Pickles they are, but anyway. So that's it.
W's in the chat, boys.
You dropped a bazinga there, I think, mate.
Liam's banned.
Okay.
Look, I mentioned earlier, people are saying, why would I use this? I'm using Moonlight plugins, like everything else support. We're early on the process, it's a long way away, but it is our ambition to do this. We're really excited about it, begin exploration of it.
I think it's like, maybe there's just some part of like the players that just maybe don't think that we know what they want, but we all play the same way as well. We know exactly what you want because we want it too. So yeah, absolutely. Really exciting to hear that.
Even without getting the stuff on mobile, like,
yep.
I might be
on
playing
mobile?
on 117scape on desktop, and then I jump to mobile, and it looks like the old render, the viewing distance is not as good as I want it to be.
The viewing
and all
distance
this
on
sort of
mobile
stuff.
fucking
It's
sucks.
good on mobile at any point in time. It's good.
Bro, I hate more than anything when people
Plugins
show
on
up to
mobile
Motherload
are
Mine like
okay.
absolute
Yeah,
shitters and just start mining.
And this is it. So like, we've been working on our own plugins on the official client, and some have made it to mobile. Some are still in progress on mobile. The UI changes and stuff are still work in progress as well. But we can't make these plugins as fast as players do. So let's give them the tools to be able to do it, and we want to work with them. So a few months ago, we started some NDA processes, like calls with plugin creators and developers. They gave us some really early feedback, and I think from next week onwards, we're hoping to put some initial documentation in their hands so they can tell us how to go about building this plugin hub. Because who better to listen to than the people who've been doing it for years already?
Yeah, no, exactly, spot on, and that
It
kind of
is.
like leads really
'Cause I have
well into
no
this next
allegiance
question
to
of, like, how
Runelite.
exactly
Like,
do we
as long as there's
expect that
plugins,
to
I'm
work,
gone.
because it is very much driven by the community.
Yeah.
currently
Sensible
through
move would be
plugin
include the Runelite team in the
don't-
process,
we got
seeing as they're
ideas,
already done so much
but
legwork.
we want to
in
validate them
plugins.
with these
This
developers
guy-
and creators
Agreed.
first before we start publishing them. Because we're studio mindset. That might not be the best thing to do, the way we want to go for it, the normal development process we do for game content and normal releases as well. So let's put the documentation in the hands of these creators, these players, and they can kind of tell us, like, I think it's too soon for us to be dictating how we should distribute
for
plugins
video
or how people
games.
should give feedback or install or uninstall.
What do you
Let's let
think?
the players tell us how they think it should work.
They're the experts.
We need
They are
bank
the
tags.
experts.
So why
We need
not?
ground markers.
Obviously, you talk about
We
working
need
with a
menu
small little
entry
group
spots.
of like developers,
All
creators, and so
on
on. What about the
the
wider
official
community?
client, so we can
What's the sort of
play
timeline
sexy
involved
RuneScape?
here?
What do
When
you
can they expect to get their hands on anything like this?
I
What do you
don't
think?
know. We have an idea, but again, I think it's too soon to say. Let's see how these closed like group conversations go. We might have missed the mark completely. Have to go back to the drawing board and properly try again.
Yeah,
or we might have
they're pretty
nailed
close
it, in which
with
case maybe
Adam
we can
and the
start
RL
conversations
folks.
more publicly a bit sooner than we plan to. I don't know. I think generally, I mean, we just announced the release date for Baltimore Part 1, March 20th, if you didn't see that already. I think we've gotten better at announcing stuff or knowing when to announce and when to keep stuff secret. Like, think back to early August or winter 2017. We were crap. We were really bad at it. But now we wait until we're ready to talk about it, and then we kind of continue with like a good cadence of it all.
Cool. I mean, overall, it sounds extremely exciting. I know that chat, you went through a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions.
You probably won't be
with
able to do
seeing
that,
you go up and down,
Claire,
but just to
because of
recap
the coding
that HD
differences.
is potentially coming. You've seen some footage of it. We had to check out a blog which gives you all the details.
You
about
probably
HD
can
and
once it
everything
comes
else
out.
in
It'll just
there.
be really slow.
It's going to be entirely
That's what
optional.
I'm
You can choose
dreading.
between
Is
standard
like if I'm going to the
detail,
official
detail.
client, I'm
Remote's
dreading
not
having
going
to like
anywhere, so if you
reset
don't
my
wanna move
fucking
over
bank
and use the
tags.
new HD when it
I have
comes
like
out, you don't
60
have
of
to,
them.
That's not a problem.
So that's
And
gonna
we are
suck
looking at
to like
developing our
bank
own
tags
plugin
and
hub,
bank tag
which will be in
layouts.
collaboration with plugin
All my
creators,
tile markers that are
creating numbers
everywhere.
themselves from the start. So
They'll
I think
probably make it
overall, a
damn near
massive
exactly
win,
the
and
same,
I'm
but
extremely excited to see what kind of
All
feedback
the
we get
secret
from this,
tiles
and
I
think
added
this
to your
really is one
client.
of the huge milestones for old school generally, because new players coming in, some people don't care about graphics, some people do care about graphics, and I think this is a great time for us to start being able to explore expanding the player
Dinky
base.
girl.
And I'd encourage players. It's an odd one, this kind of announcement, this reveal.
Yeah.
Because it's not game content playable. It's not a Coliseum where you can jump in and it's like instantly gratifying. This is more about, hey everyone, think of what could be possible. Come on a journey with us. Help us build the plugin hub. Help us build amazing plugins. Help us give feedback on HD. Don't use HD if you don't want to use HD. That kind of thing. Like it's more about the potential of it all.
Exciting
Wise
stuff.
words.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. It's a long road. We've made a lot of progress already, right? To be able to show you
Interested in
all those
investigating common
HD
plugin
assets
API between
already.
Runelite and other
A lot
clients.
of work's gone into
Need
it.
collaboration
More to
between
come.
devs and clients. Theoretically, you
Exciting
could make
stuff.
plugins
I
work on
believe
all.
we
Do you think they're going to do a roadmap update?
Established. So I think we should make a little bit of an announcement on those.
Probably.
We've got 3 of these OSRS LED lights from Creator Crafted. The Elysian Spirit Shield has been won by Shanning.
Let's go. I was
Let's
going to
go.
clap, but I realised I'm holding the iPad, and I can't like break the screen. I just
Slap
put
the
it down.
tablet. Slap the tablet. The Twisted Bow LED light has been won by Sig. And the PK Skull has been won by The Lady. Vladdy.
Let's go.
The Lady.
Heck yes.
A member of our team will be in touch with you on Discord with details on how to redeem your prize.
Congratulations to the winners, and I think we may as well just get straight into our next giveaway. Kieran, there is just something right
Yes,
next
you can,
to you there.
Otis.
Do you want to maybe bring
This
the box?
thing?
Yeah, as you gently caress it. Yeah,
It does feel nice.
We'll give this one away. You can sell it on eBay.
want
So
that.
say Kieran's touched it all over. But yeah, if you missed out on backing Steam Forged
want that so
Kickstarter
bad.
for the RuneScape Kingdoms board game back in 2022, then you now have a chance to get your hands on a copy of
you
the
say
game.
meow?
Because we're going to be giving away another 3 of these items to some lucky winners over the next 20 minutes. Kieran is now gracefully modelling all of the components from
I would
within
get that
the board
game and have no one to play it
I tell
with.
you what, we went through this.
That's
and
why I
it
didn't
is
get it,
seriously high
'cause I had no one to
quality.
play it. I don't think I had
genuinely
any money at the
impressed.
time
Not
either,
that I
but
expected it to be bad.
If I send a
but, you know, when
postcard,
have
can you put it on
an
the
idea in
top
your
right
head of,
corner of the
It's going to be
corkboard?
good.
Yes.
And then I took the miniatures out. Like, do you want to maybe get the Elvar one out?
yeah.
Because that looks insane. Like they are so incredibly detailed. There's even a mage that's wearing like an ancient staff. It is so freaking cool to see in person.
Simon,
and it
just have
feels
somebody
quality.
buy it and then
I'm
send
shilling
it
like,
to you
massively,
directly.
but no
Jad,
worries.
I think it's even better. Like, I prefer the Jad
Yeah,
one
the Jad is
personally.
one spiky boy.
But
I don't talk too much. I've still got to go through the rest of what this means. You just model. I'm talking. So, do you want to quest, skill, meet memorable NPCs, slay mighty monsters, and craft awesome gear on the tabletop?
Yes.
Sween's saying yes. Well, then this is for you. There are hundreds of cards, many with unique illustrations, and on top of that, each of the 5 different 3D player pieces can be leveled up during the game, getting their very own cape and equipment upgrades. You can see it now on screen, featuring all of what's contained within the box itself.
That's how you get your Infernal
The
cape.
board game, KBD
Get it in the
expansion,
board
and
game.
the starter edition of a separate tabletop RPG will hit retailers globally on the 29th of February. So not long now, so bark your diaries. They can also be pre-ordered in most
Bark your
countries direct from
diaries?
Steamforge now, along with some online exclusive expansions for the board game.
We're
and a
getting
deluxe
new
edition as
pets.
well. Use
We're
the
getting the
exclamation mark
fucking
Steamforge
Gertrude's.
details
We're getting
of the
Gertrude's
Rune
cat
Tabletop
too.
Board Game and
Gertrude's
Tabletop
dog,
RPG
and
make
we're
sure
getting
with
fucking
exclamation mark Discord,
cat
you've,
updates and dog
entered into there
updates.
through the giveaway
They
channel by
asked
reacting
like a
to the
year
message
ago.
that
They're
Bob
like,
posted.
"Hey,
and in around
what do you
about
guys
10,
want to
15
see for like
minutes, we
new
will be
domestic animal
announcing
pets?"
the
They like
winner,
did it at a
or the
fucking
winners, in fact,
what's
for
it
the
called?
giveaways.
Yeah, one of those
Now, we are
game
gonna take
jams
a
they
real
did.
quick
So
break.
it like
There will
definitely,
be a video showing our
definitely,
next
surely,
reveal
right?
straight after this break. So
TNL
don't go
D&D
anywhere,
campaign.
because if you miss this
I
one, then
cannot
you're gonna
host
be
a
kicking
campaign for
yourself
2,000
in the arse,
people.
as
I'm not gonna
Hassani
do that.
thankfully said and allowed me to be able to say it on
It would
the
be fun
stream
if
for
we
the
had a
rest of the
D&D
stream.
campaign that
I'm
we
gonna grab
ran
myself
from
a
like the
bottle of water.
recording booth
So you guys
style thing
enjoy the
where-
video. You're gonna go
or
through
we
awesome,
streamed it.
wonderful UGC that the players have made. Make sure you're here straight
It
after
could
this,
be-
though, because
it
we're
could
going
be
straight into
fun,
our next
but-
big reveal, and it is not one that you're going to want to miss. It's new content that you've not seen before. Get hyped, and we'll see you soon.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. Yeah, maps. I like maps.
Scurrius the Rat King,
There's
baby.
2 things before
Rebel.
March.
Rebel.
Oh, they're taking a break.
They are taking a fucking break.
A
We are at the
15-minute
hour mark.
Break?
We are at the 1 hour mark.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna turn this stream down so we can talk. All right.
Just let me don't you keep it at the same level. I'll just turn it down on my end.
Perfect.
Mumpty ass.
He called me a mumpty ass.
Mumpty
You're canceled.
ass.
You're canceled.
Someone has talked about a GPA D&D game. Somebody has, Tiki. Somebody fucking has. Bird watching skill incoming. It's called being a fucking nerd. Being a bird. Huh. If y'all do recording with D&D campaign, can I be a necrophilia nymphomaniac?
Hell yeah.
That's...
No. Since we're talking about giveaways, guys, we're giving this away on our Discord.
Can we just fucking like
for
run
patrons? For the patrons, if you're not part of the Patreon, you can join it. Patreon.com/XPWaste, and then head over to our Discord once you've connected, and go to the XP Waste giveaways, and we're gonna send this off to one of our lucky patrons at the end of the month. It's gonna be great. Bob the Cat. This is not affiliated with Jagex. This is not affiliated with at all with the Winter Summit. This is simply done through XP Waste. Patreon.com/XP Waste. Any tier has a chance at the prize, but the higher the tier you are, the more entries you get. So just keep that in mind when you decide which tier you want to join. So what have we seen so far? We saw Scurius the Rat Boss.
Rat Boss!
We saw a look into Varlamore.
A very
we
long,
saw-
fucking detailed look at Varlamore. Jesus Christ.
And then we saw a look at the new HD. I think that's the 3 things, right?
Yeah. We saw like the
Pretty much.
board game, and we saw the fucking, all the other stuff.
Well, it's for the giveaways, but yeah.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. I really wish that it was obviously a RuneLite thing for the HD, but
Yeah.
I get why it's not. And I feel like... whatever. If they develop the plugin hub alongside the RuneTech HD stuff...
That's what I'm saying.
We're cheering.
I'm
you
not
know?
I'm not deathly loyal to RuneLite, and if you can get all the same things that you can get on RuneLight, all the quality of life upgrades, I'm more than happy to jump over to the HD client, or like the official Jagex client, because like they were saying, and the thing that really stuck out to me is if they develop clients, there's things that can work more seamlessly that you don't have to guess. Like I would imagine things that need data, things that require like boss health, things that would like require engine, those kinds of things you would have direct access to rather than RuneLight kind of just guessing.
Yeah.
An example of that is, man, what's a good example of something? I don't know. If you guys have examples, post them in the chat. But I just know that it would be a better experience to have an official Jagex client that can allow. Oh, look at that ring! Look at that.
Yeah, it's
ring.
real nice.
I want that. You could have an official Jagex client that also has the same plugins. So, and I'm sure they would be able to add the Jagex, I don't know, like aesthetic touch, because there's some plugins, like the one that comes top of mind is Quest Helper. Like I'm a lot of times during quests, I'm quite annoyed at how they handle like NPCs that you have to fight. Generally, there's like a massive blue outline with a giant quest symbol on it, and you can't even see the NPCs some of the times when it's highlighting them. And sometimes you can't even see the items that are in your inventory when they're being highlighted because it's just a massive blue blob. And so I'm sure if they did have an official Jagex Quest Helper plugin, then it would look more aesthetically pleasing.
They basically have Quest Helper in RS3 for some of like the intro quests, I feel like. At least that's what I remember from being over there years ago. So it's not impossible that they could do something like that.
OSRS quest walkthroughs coming back since you can't use RuneLight. Well, that's what I'm saying. If they have Quest Helper, and I mean, YouTube quest guides have not gone anywhere. Like Slayer Music is still making a quest guide for every new quest that comes out. So he hasn't gone anywhere. Anything from Varlamore stick out to you visually?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh god, it looks so fucking. I mean, I always love like the nature stuff, right? Like I am always like a big fan of like what nature, or rather how the natural landscape in RuneScape has kind of evolved over the last couple of years. Like it's gone from basically just fields with a couple of trees outside Lumbridge to like look at Shazian, look at Hasidius, look at Mount Carolum, even look at like what they did with Mauritania, the swamp, look at the desert, how they've improved that. So I'm excited. I'm quite excited to see what that piece looks like over in Varlamore. Like it's like a savanna plains, kind of like a savanna biome in Minecraft. Like picture that color palette.
Yeah.
Like acacia trees and things like that. I'm very excited to see how that goes. But
I have a thought. So they were saying that whenever people have been like exploring Varlamore and then they teleport back to Varrock, you know, they feel kind of depressed. It's like, ooh, this is just like, this looks drab. I'm curious if as they continue to update certain areas, if they will consider reworks for cities that are classic. I know your face, and I kind of have the same reaction, but I wouldn't mind it, you know? Like
define a rework, like a graphical update or like
Yes.
a reorganization.
A graphical update. Just like,
I mean,
make
that's
things,
what the HD thing is for, right?
Well, I think there's a big difference between like, we made this tree look better and we made it make more sense. You talked about like, just like there's a swamp in near Lumbridge, but it doesn't look like a swamp. It's like you have a
you
have a few little water pools and some trees and some vines. But I'm sure if you told an artist now make a swamp, they would be able to like imagine something so much more aesthetically interesting than what they did back in 2004 when they made RS2. Because I don't think much of the stuff that we see now is the same as whenever they released it. We didn't get a lot, like the graphical reworks that they did to RuneScape 2 came post 2007.
Yeah.
Varrock should look drab. Half the city is just slums. I mean, there's a difference between looking drab and having things be more than just like a flat texture. It can look like a slum, but it can also have texture and have life and have aesthetics. They could reorganize it too, but then it's also, I guess, how far do you
burning that fucking place to the ground if they do that?
How far do you stray? Oh, I didn't react to the second one, the second giveaway. They're doing a third giveaway now. They're giving away 3 board games.
Yeah, they are.
Did you just play the sound?
Yeah. Hope that comes through in the desktop audio for everyone.
A little bit. It was a little quiet. Do 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 do. I would like that Michael just started about a week ago and Varrock definitely needs a small makeover. What's up? Ramouth.
Who?
Adrian. He's Ramouth in the Discord.
I have no idea who that is.
Adrian,
Hi,
I worked with him.
I figured you knew him. I figured you knew him IRL because you were super excited. I'm like, I don't know this guy. Is this like that one dude who you and Scape like fangirled over when he showed back up? And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? You guys were like, he's been here since the beginning. I'm like, I've been here since the beginning, and I don't know this.
Wait,
fucking
who was that?
guy.
Who was that?
I don't know. But hello, Ramulf. Welcome to the party. I had to check that it was one of these motherfuckers in Discord. That's what we're gonna do for the rest of the stream. I'm gonna play random sounds just to fuck with Fear because I know he's at the he might be at the Cox mask. I'm not sure.
That Wise Old Man tattoo did look cool. I'm working on making a D&D train for the final battle of my 4-year-long D&D campaign. Damn.
Hog.
Damn. That service looks cool. I could probably make one of those. I printed a headphone mount for my desk. It's pretty neat. Took 6 hours. The more I see these skill capes, the more I want one. Let's go to Etsy real quick and see what the prices look like. Because there was one that's like $100, and to me that's not bad.
Oh, not bad at all. All right, we got 3 fucking minutes left. 3 minutes. They keep talking about Wolf and Bark and all this random shit. Predictions in the last 3 minutes. We're seeing Wild Gothic sleep, so that's probably going to be put off till June. I was a betting man.
Ooh,
I would love to see Lord of Vampirium, but I'm not sure. Shop to buy an Infernal Cape. Listen, if Michael buys a cosplay Infernal Cape, he's never gonna not be made fun of.
It's
for buying an Infernal Cape.
$115 though.
See,
Oh
I feel
my
like
gosh.
that's what I need right there. I need to buy a cosplay Infernal Cape so people can I actually can say, yeah, I bought my Infernal Cape, and just like whip it out on the fucking pod. That'd be funnier than shit.
There's a character limit on posting? Are you kidding me?
Lord of Vampirium won't be to the end of the year, which is disappointing as fuck. I'd love for Lord of Vampirium to be what is announced today. So it's still probably going to be Wild Gothic Sleeps because they said it's coming to old school RuneScape.
I'm gonna go pee. Be right back.
All right, cool. We'll keep speculating. Wear it on dates. Honestly, the gal I'm going on a date with tonight, if I were to wear an Infernal cape, she might be a little confused, but I don't think she would be extremely off-put. Like, I've met some people that, like, if I rocked up in a cape, they'd be like, yeah, this ain't gonna fucking work. But the one I'm going out with tonight, I don't think she would immediately be like, no. Mass Chambers after the Winter Summit, baby. Chat channel Gecko, World 514. Cloudwind, let's fucking get her going. I will not be able to be there because the summit is going to take way longer than I anticipated. But fuck yeah, brother. Keep on hosting the events. Hopefully the Chambers match goes well and somebody pulls a fucking Tebow. How much did you pay for your GF? I don't have a GF, so I haven't paid for one yet. But I'm assuming I'm gonna start with the standard 10k GP offer and then see where it goes from there. You know? Someone at Renfest this year near me had a fire making skill cape. Hell yeah. But yeah, I think new pets are coming. We're getting a quest to get dogs finally. They're hopefully reworking cats. Like, they might have some old school looking cats. But I think there's going to be some sort of like Gertrude's cat sequel, you know, where we get dogs and new kinds of cats. Not probably along the same lines of Gertrude's cat in terms of difficulty. But I think that'd be a super cool way. Because I'm pretty sure back in the day, the summoning skill was how you got dog pets. At least I think, from what I remember. So that could be very possible with how that goes too. So, new pets. Wild Gothic Sleeps. They've already talked about Varlamore. They've already talked about HD. They'll probably talk about a mobile, a fucking mobile rework. Hopefully they give us an update on that. Do you think they'll give us an update, or do you think Gertrude will have a crosstown rival that will be who has dogs? It'll either be that, or Gertrude will have like a long lost sister who lives in like fucking Zaya or something. Maybe that'll be it. Like, fucking Gertrude has family she doesn't know about, and that family lives in Varlamore. So that's how you get the cool dogs, is in Varlamore.
Varlamore Part 2, Take 1.
Turn it up.
Varlamore Part 2.
I'm Gentle Tractor. I am a member of the Old School RuneScape community. So as part of my visit here
It's the guy.
It's the Old School team today, I've been asked to reveal some of the details about Varlamore
cool.
Part 2 and what kinds of things you might be able to expect. I first started playing Old School RuneScape as it came out back in 2013. Prior to that, I played the original RuneScape back in the early 2000s, 2002, 2003. As the years went on, seeing the way Old School developed, it really captured my attention a lot more, especially because of the community-driven nature of how all the content was being designed and developed. I think that's what really spurred me on to want to kind of get a bit involved myself. I've shared and contributed a number of different things over the years, design I did, some feedback here and there. So Varlamore as a region in Old School RuneScape dates back shortly after the release of Great Kurend and what was once kind of called Zaya, a mid-continent. I created and shared a map that was showing a hypothetical reimagining of what that area could kind of look like with some different tweaks and improvements. It was like, what if there was this other hypothetical kingdom, the Kingdom of Varlamore? From that point onwards, it sort of inadvertently became sort of accepted and a part of the game's canon, and then was subtly and slowly referenced to in a number of different places in game. And sort of in just this past year or so, getting in touch with the Old School RuneScape team, who have reached out basically to ask and see if I wanted to contribute to fleshing out a more complete concept of what Varlamore could look like. There was definitely a lot of going back and looking through some of the early iterations, like my very first early draft. There's also some other fantastic player-made incarnations of that. I'll give a special shout out to another community member by the name of Zigzagzagle, who did a fantastic Varlamore interpretation of their own. That was kind of like an iteration on my original one. It really is shaping up to be something that's like an extremely heavily community-driven area and designed area, and been molded and sculpted by so many different hands that have gone into working on it.
What else are we getting?
The first thing coming in Varlamore Batch 2 will be the island of Alderin, an island that contains a couple of different things, including a very interesting and old school RuneScapey feeling quest that involves a murder mystery, as well as some new skilling content, such as a herblore activity that takes advantage of some of the
murder mystery
unique features in the area. This is going to give some exciting new herblore items, as well as providing new content
no way they
for level
fucking
70
wait that
plus.
long.
The second thing coming with Varlamore Batch 2 will be the Hailstorm Mountains. On top of these mountains, you might find yourself a fearsome new group boss that you can battle it out with you and some friends.
Group boss.
It's been really interesting and exciting getting a chance to visit the Jagex offices today and see a little sneak peek behind the scenes of what Valamor's looking like. It's both fascinating and surreal seeing it actually come to life and physically.
I
want to
know
walk
about
around
the
the
Bard
place that I've kind of helped envision and see, and seeing that go full circle is a long journey. Has been a really, really cool one, and I want to send a big expression of thanks and gratitude to everyone on the Old School team and here at Jagex today for making the trip that I've had a wonderful experience. Players should be
Did somebody
excited
say
for
trade
Valamor
dogs for
Part
blood
2,
runes?
because
Excuse
there's
me?
some really interesting new pieces of content, especially in
Dogs
skills
for
that have
blood
been
runes,
traditionally underutilized, like herb lore. I think that has a lot of very interesting creative potential there, as well as the idea of having another maybe more traditional style group boss, but with a lot of the interesting complexity of mechanics and depth that we see in modern boss design. I think the combination of those two is going to be really, really compelling to a lot of players.
Welcome back, everyone.
Did
I
they
hope
say how many
you have
tiles the
enjoyed
Coliseum
looking at
was?
the
Fucking
first
big.
Sneak peek of what's to come with Valamor Batch 2, a hugely community-driven update. Absolutely amazing to have had Gentle Tractor in the offices to join us. The whole team is super grateful to be able to work closely with him as well as the rest of the community members. It just goes to show that we really do like to do things the old school way here. Now, I'm really excited to learn more about what's to come with Valamor Batch 2. We obviously covered the island of Alderaan there, which is going to include some new herb
Wasn't
lore
Alderaan
activities,
destroyed
new
by the
rewards
Empire?
For 70 plus herb
This is
lore. There'll be a
Alderaan.
lot more information about that coming later on,
Nerd.
but we do have a blog
Fucking
going out.
nerd.
That's okay for us to start looking into. Then there's also the Hailstorm Mountains bringing in a new group boss. We are joined by the wonderful
A
Mod
new
Other.
group
Thank you so much for
boss.
being here. How are you?
Hello, it's
Hello, Mod
wonderful to
Other.
be
She
here.
just
I'm doing
grabbed
well,
the
thank
fucking
you.
vorcat.
Awesome, I'm
Let's
glad to
go.
hear it.
It's
As I said, I'm really
huge.
excited to learn
It's big.
more about Valamor Batch 2. What was the most fun you've had working on the project so far?
Everything until that pun,
Yeah,
I think. Was,
I think Mod Ed put that in because he said he's put a little joke in
yeah,
for me in the
I think
questions.
Mod
and-
Ed sabotaged me there. I think the most fun so far, like looking at Valamor as a whole, and especially sort of Batch 2 stuff, like it's been establishing all of these sort of lore connections. I spoke a bit about lore earlier on our little video, our dev diary, and to me, it's a really important thing for us to have a world where everything feels like it makes sense, and you're not encountering something that's like shallow. And the gameplay can be great, but when you look back on it, and you're sat there
2.5
thinking,
hours?
Why did I do that in the world? Obviously, not everyone's going to feel that way, but
Bro, who said this
there's
is
a
going
lot
to
of
take
stuff
two and a
where it's
half
just like,
hours, Otis?
It's really fun to make the lore for it, and it helps us design gameplay around it. We look at something like
Listen,
the island of
you can
Alderaan,
catch up.
and we're looking at that sort of Mediterranean
Who said this is
style,
going to be
like, we're gonna
2.5
have
hours?
fancy villas
I would like
and
to know.
vineyards, and we're going to have a lot of fun there with.
You
the
guys can
herbal
just look at
activity,
the
murder mystery
score,
quest,
right?
like, there's
Their summit only
there's real
happens
richness
twice a year.
to everything we're looking to bring with Batch 2.
It
and
depends on
that's
what game it's
just that has me excited,
Awesome. I'm excited just by your
Divisional
excitement.
round at 4:30, Texans Ravens.
Passion, right?
Yeah.
Passion. There's a
Oh,
passion
yeah.
in the whole team and yourself is incredible. Players haven't even had their batch. Their
Their batch of cookies. Master Baker over here.
Their hands.
Fuck
aren't
you,
batch
Tiki.
one yet, coming
I
March
think it's just
20th,
2
like it
hours.
is,
Man, I
as
sure
revealed
hope it's
earlier.
2 hours.
How is this going to differ to batch 1?
Well, I sort of already mentioned this sort of Mediterranean environment we're looking to sort of bring in here, and I think that's a really big one. We're already playing around with a new environment in Batch 1. We've got the savannah, and all of a sudden we're pivoting. We're going from the sort of dry grass of a savannah to hopefully some real rich greens and sort of coastal areas. Obviously, also the Hailstorm Mountains. We don't have a huge amount of mountainous areas where we can actually explore. They're often used for sort of marking out the playable area in a very engaging way. So it's going to be really exciting to be climbing up those mountains to go and tackle, quite a big boss, we're hoping.
Will there be penguins on the mountain?
It's man, it's an instrument.
I don't think we're going to put penguins on the mountain. There'd be a long way for them to then go and eat,
No mountainous penguins. All right, never mind. I tried. I'm sorry, Robert. Everyone loves new quests. Well, I hope you all love new quests because there's going to be a new quest. Can you tell us a little bit more about what players should expect from that?
Yeah, so we're looking at a fairly sort of intermediate level quest. We're not bringing you a whole other sort of Desert Treasure 2 scoped kind of quest. We're we're looking at something that's going to be fun. One of the main words that sort of came up in our early discussions was trophy for this quest.
Only
because
real game
it's a
starts
murder
at
mystery,
8:15.
you know. There's so
Italy,
many
but
fantastic murder
RuneScape.
mystery
Fuck
sort of
yeah.
concepts that we can just
Shh, they're talking about quests.
directly rip off. You know, Agatha Christie, wonderful work. It's our turn now on that front.
Ooh, take inspiration
Sorry, yes. We should be taking a very polite and respectful inspiration from our murder mystery sort of forebears. And, you know, we're looking a little into some interesting rewards as well. We're trying not to put out a quest where, you know, you can do it because you like quests, but we want people to feel like, hey, I've actually got something from engaging with this narrative. So yeah, that's what we're aiming at with that quest.
Awesome. Will it just be one quest the players will get hold of, or more?
Ooh, well, we're planning one larger quest with that murder mystery, but I believe we're intending to continue the Varlamore storyline as a whole through Batch 2, and, you know, we'll tease it, Batch 3 is going to have more Varlamore storyline.
Yeah, we've said Batch 3 already now.
Three?
So kind of cat's out of the bag with that one. So awesome.
Ooh.
Two quests to look forward to then, at least.
At least, yeah.
Nice.
We also mentioned a herb lore
Like 3?
activity,
Yes.
which is something a bit new. What's the thought process behind doing a new herb lore activity, and like why have we chosen herb lore in the first place?
So we've got a number of reasons. There's a lot of passion in the dev team for some improvements to herb lore. Fundamentally, you know, a lot of Varlamore has been passion projects, but also players want to see improvements to herb lore, and we need to find a way to sort of make that user experience better without completely disrupting what players expect of herb lore. I mean, the expectations are fairly low, I think, especially if you don't play an Iron Man account. You sort of end up buying, at this point, unfinished potions and secondaries and bank stand for a few hours, and that's herb lore in a whole. And what we want to do is bring an activity where you don't feel like you have to do it. You know, you could do 1 to 99 herb lore and never touch it. You've kind of experienced most of what herb lore offers, but we don't want it to feel that like this is how you have to do it. You know,
Herb lore
this isn't going to
minigame?
be your sort of best XP for
That
herb
could
lore
be
training. And we're going to see if we can provide some interesting sort of improvements to herb lore that you may access through this activity, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that an interesting problem herb lore has is like, why do you train it? Like Iron Man, obviously, it makes a lot of sense, right? You need
bigger
to
than
get the
Prith,
level. You can't mix it with
but I don't
combat.
think bigger
until you get
than
the
Thea.
level.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But for a main account, it's like it doesn't matter what herb lore level you've got. Basically, you just go to the Grand Exchange and buy whatever potion you want.
I mean, and that's really the crux of the issue, isn't it? You know,
Make potions untradeable.
Irons will get something out of leveling herb
Yeah,
lore
what
almost
the
all the way
fuck?
to 99. You know, Divine Super Combat's at 97, I believe. Whereas mains, as you say, you can just buy every potion, and we're not looking to be like, hey, you can only get this thing from this herb lore activity, so that mains will come and do it to get that thing. But we do want to make it so that mains feel like they actually have herb lore as a skill that they can engage with, rather than a skill that they buy off the Grand Exchange, get done with, and you know, if it happens to be profitable, it happens to be profitable, but it may not be for them, and it's an interesting spot.
Yeah,
really.
you're right. The world does feel
No, it's
geographically.
the main
Maybe they
takeaway,
add
so
stuff
it
to the
is an
south.
interesting spot, right? Because there is no real purpose for a main to do herb lore other than to get some diaries or to get their capes and all that kind of stuff. So it almost feels like a task in itself, having to just level it for the sake of it. But now maybe you can level it for the sake of it, but have fun at the same time.
Yeah,
there will be
and
no more
I'm
black
excited
spots.
actually that we're targeting sort of 70 plus herb lore with this activity as well. It's kind of,
Except for Menopause.
it gives you a reason to keep leveling the skill because you're going to unlock something to do with it.
Menopause still isn't a black spot though.
Because obviously
Yeah,
we
it's-
could target a little lower
what's
and be like,
below
hey, you
the
can actually make
desert?
herb lore progression through this. And to be fair, 70 is not very far
So there's
in most
parts
people's
of Menopause
progression
that are
journeys,
blacked
you know,
out,
the
but
experience
Menopause
requirement
itself still
and all of
exists.
the
Yeah, there's
sort of
literally just one black
unlocks and
cube.
the
Maybe that's what they
complexity of things, and
announced.
70 really
But
is
I doubt
actually
it. They were
almost
so close on the heels
low
of
skill
DT2, I
requirement,
doubt it.
for the most part.
Awesome. I'm going to take something in from the chat here and just we're going to go a little bit ad hoc off script. But there's been a few mentions of things when we talk about the 70 plus rewards. People were talking like overloads, making herb lore relating back to being a combat skill in previous RuneScape eras and such. Is that anything that we're thinking of? I know it's very early and we'll talk about the rewards specifically with players, but what kind of like ideas do we have in mind, or can we maybe dispel that myth of...
I think that overloads we've definitely discussed overloads as a design team, and for the most part, none of us have found the sort of spot where we think
Penguin
overloads fit.
civilization. God, I hope
There's
so.
also this idea of like, you can look at the sort of complex crafting trees that exist in RS3 for sort of high tier potions. And I think we are hesitant to go down that kind of route and introduce potions where it's like, okay, at the moment we have super combats where you've got to make a few potions, stick them all together. That's kind of okay. But if you're doing that 4 times, combining all of those, then getting another ingredient and combining that, you just end up where the skill becomes this kind of chase for only these few specific things. And I would say we should dispel the idea that we're thinking, oh yeah, we'll bring overloads with this activity, because that's not really what we're looking to achieve here. And it may be that eventually we release content where we're like, actually, this is perfect.
Bro, maybe
for
that's what we
overloads,
get.
and
Maybe we get a Cold
everyone's
War
behind it,
II
and we think, yeah,
Cold
let's
War
do it.
sequel.
Penguin pet?
But not with this one. Okay, we've seen some W's in the chat, so thank you for the answer and apologies for putting you on the spot. Let's move away from Herblore a little bit, because we also have the prospect of a new group boss. So again, I know that we're still really early on in, well, I'd say development.
I don't know
We're in
why.
the green light stage.
Tiki,
You
I
have to let
feel
us know
you.
if you want us to start developing.
We know
it.
it's coming,
but,
folks.
It has been too long since we released an actual group boss. So
Nightmare
what are you
was the
looking
last
forward
one,
to
right?
the most in regards to working on that project?
Honestly, I'm really looking forward to having a boss that people are genuinely going to stumble over. Like, so many of our bosses are a bit of a trek. You've got to make the decision. I'm going to go and I'm going to fight this boss, and I'm going to gear up and I'm going to make that journey. And what we are looking at with this group boss is something that is either directly in the overworld, or almost that you could accidentally enter the area where it's in.
Wow.
We want players to almost encounter it naturally and realize that they want to take part in the fight that's going on.
Like stars?
And we sort of, you know, there are really cool
he
things
should have
we've
kept
already
that shit a
discussed on it.
secret.
Like,
You know how funny
we've
that
done
would
a
have
lot of
been?
humanoid bosses lately, and we've got humanoid bosses coming up in the Colosseum. And we're looking for something that's a bit more monstrous as well. And what better place for that than the top of a mountain, one of the most hostile environments we can imagine.
Dragon.
Wait. Giant penguin on the mountain.
He's nailed it.
We've got it.
They're not letting this penguin thing go.
Oh, you're really going for that Cold War II, aren't you?
Cold War II?
Pitch it. You know, a giant penguin. Put it in front of the
I would not want
Dragon's Den
to.
of
I would not want to
Design,
hurt
right?
a penguin.
Kieran, when it comes to consultation, me and you are going to create alt Reddit accounts. I'm already getting the background of the yellow text prepped. We'll bring
I love
them in.
them so
All right,
much.
wonderful. Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like chat or those watching at home to know about Valamor Batch 2?
I think I just like chat to know that, like, we really have some strong ideas for this. I think it's really important to know that we have a clear vision right now. And whilst we still have
Megaboss?
greenlighting and
I don't
consultation,
know how a megalodon
we are
would fit
really
at the top
hoping
of a
that
mountain,
once
but you
we
never
present
know.
these ideas to
I
everyone
would hope it's a
and poll them,
dragon.
people
Just
feel
because that
as
would, you know how
strongly as we
like
do
good that
and
would
as
do for like
passionately as we do about
anti-dragon
the
weaponry
content
and
we're looking to
equipment?
introduce.
Like, that'd be
Ice
fucking
dragon.
awesome.
Amazing. Fantastic words. Thank
Ice
you so
dra-
much.
well, we
for
already
for
have an
joining
ice
us.
dragon,
Really
so that's
hope
the
you're
other tough
excited
part.
as we are for Valamor Batch 2. Make sure you go check
You know,
out
there
the
can't be
blog for
more
all the
than one
details,
ice dragon
as well as
ever.
seeing the green light questions.
I'm just
which will be
saying,
available
you know,
for
it's not the
everyone
most
at the end of
original
stream.
idea
But I
to
think
have
it's
it
about
to
time
have
we
it
set sails into the
whatever.
next VT.
Set sails. They said they were giving us a
Hello
release.
and welcome to Old School RuneScape Sailing Developer Diary. I'm Gnome, and today I'm joined by some of your favorite J-mods to share new details about our first new skill.
Hey, I'm Mod Husky. You all know me. I don't actually look like this in real life, unfortunately.
I'm Mod Lenny. I'm a little newer to the sailing scene, but I've climbed on board to help lay the foundations for how boats work in the game.
I'm Mod Elena. No, not the one from Ardoin, thankfully.
Since this is a Winter Summit video, we won't be covering all things sailing today. If you need a reminder of what sailing is, check out my video that went out during the Summer Summit.
this guy's
and we'll
voice.
meet you back here when you're ready to dive in.
Yo, hello, this is cool.
With sailing, we're trying to strike the right balance where we can fit in as much content as possible without taking years and years to release it. After all, if we tried to stuff it full of every type of content it could possibly have, we'd probably still be designing it in 2030. However, this is Old School RuneScape's first new skill ever, so it's important that we only release it when it's ready. But what does it mean to be ready? Many of our oldest skills are still being continuously updated to this day, and we expect sailing to evolve too. So while we do want to launch a fully realized skill, we will also be regularly updating it beyond launch. Okay, let's take a look at our roadmap. As you can see, we've split the development process into 9 major milestones, which we're aiming to complete in order. We're currently on navigation, with the next stages focusing on primary gameplay, ship customization and crew system, ship combat, and then secondary gameplay.
The penguins.
Once those have been developed, we'll work our way up to more advanced gameplay that links the entire skill together. Islands and points of interest are hugely important to sailing, so we've decided to tackle them separately, as they aren't dependent on the other milestones. This means that they can be designed and polled while other development work is ongoing.
Underlying tech is our top priority so that sailing always feels natural at its core. Since we're expecting you to spend so much time out at sea, navigation needs to feel seamless and smooth, and we're keen for you to get your hands on it as early as possible to make sure that we get it right. We've now developed the core infrastructure of the skill, allowing you to gain XP, level up, and view your level among your other stats. We've also looked at issues such as tying it into the max cape, so you can quickly get back to work at earning your bragging rights back. You can also own boats of different types now, letting you build up your collection from small rowboats to much larger ships and galleons. Additionally, the team has successfully implemented the systems for boarding boats from a number of different ports and addressed what happens when you leave boats by different means.
Bad.
We've also tackled the multiplayer aspect of navigation, allowing you to board another player's boats or even steer if you're the navigator.
Like,
Other
I get
aspects
it, but
boat
like,
collision, long out at
man.
sea, ship speed, and turning circles are still being worked out. We're currently exploring how we can make interactions work between boats and land.
Yeah, I'm thinking
allow for
2025.
docking or other exciting content
Oh,
later
for
down the
sure.
line.
We
including
get a
combat.
beta at the end of the year, probably.
We'd also like to highlight some of the work we've done on the ship infrastructure system. Most of you probably saw our tech demo earlier last year, but a lot of that was a quick and dirty proof of concept just to determine whether or not the tech would even work.
I love the little
There were a lot of
crowns.
quick hacks,
Mhm.
debug script, and some very clear limitations that we had to work around. I'll make this one short and sweet, and a regularity for me. But players can now train sailing from 1 to 99. Woo! We did it! Skill is complete. Let's ship it. Jokes aside, we've implemented
ship
the
it.
basics of core gameplay, and one of these aspects is trimming the sails. Every so often, while not at port, the player will have to trim their sails to ensure that the ship can move at full speed.
Oh.
We've had some fun with this one, really exaggerating the speed difference, but we do expect it to be much more subtle for the finished product, but here it is in action anyway. Of course, this is far from being all that sailing has to offer, and of course will not be the only way to gain XP.
Whoa.
But from a developer perspective, it's a good place to start.
It's also a tiny little nod to dogs.
Since
with
officially passing the
housekeeping
poll,
and-
That's what I'm
we've been able
saying.
to get much more specific with our designs
We're
internally
getting
for
dogs.
sailing activities. And here are some of the questions that we've been discussing. What level do players unlock access to new activities? How does the gameplay change for these activities as you level up? What kind of facility upgrades can players choose from, and how do these impact each of the activities? How do crewmates or other players impact the gameplay? And what exactly is cargo and salvage, and why should the player care about them?
Ooh,
We have all the
cargo,
answers
as
to
in
these
storage?
and much more, but we're not ready to share these
Cargo
just
beep beep.
yet. But rest assured,
Cargo
we
vroom.
will be asking for player feedback when we can, and that feedback will be crucial for helping us develop lots of fun, satisfying, and rewarding activities. We've also started to put together a rough outline of the player journey. Early game, from levels 1 to 50-ish, you will likely be focused around Port Sarim, start moving towards Catherby, and then Port Khazard. You'll then be able to work towards unlocking large ships, which will enable further access south of Port Khazard into the open seas. Mid-game, around 50 to 80, will focus on large ships and fleshing out your crew. There will be a real sense of exploration here, with access to new content and new secondary training methods, which will involve non-sailing skills. Late game, around levels 80 to 99, you can finally look forward to colossal vessels and more complex gameplay.
So cool.
We want our end game sailors to feel rewarded for their time, so expect a large number of meaningful unlocks at a regular cadence. Especially because levels at this point feel much farther apart and tend to require a much greater time investment. Of course, the key to sailing is that awesome feeling of exploration, so we don't want to force every single player to experience the exact same way. However, the beats of this player journey will be a useful reference point for us during development,
Shameless
just to
killing
keep
Ruben
us
in the
all on the
background.
same page.
Mid-game
Betas are
finally
incredibly
defined
important to us,
50 to 80.
and we're expecting to offer at least 3 opportunities for
kinda
you to get your
tracks.
hands on the content before launch, though we can't give specifics on when just yet. The first Tech Alpha will launch at the earliest opportunity and will focus on refining the navigation experience, ensuring you're all comfortable and engaged while traversing the sea. Our first open beta will address ship customization, crew management, capsizing, and ship combat, offering a comprehensive preview of all 4 features. If development goes well, we may also have some early game content here too. A second open beta is currently planned as a sailing demo, offering all of the above as well as new gameplay mechanics, secondary gameplay, and some islands and points of interest to explore. This beta will take place very close to launch and will heavily influence our launch date expectations. We're also not ruling out additional betas if needed.
I think the
Let
anchor
us know
is
what
the
you think.
official skill yeah, it's a skill symbol.
That's pretty cool.
Now, some sick news for the creatives in our community who want to contribute directly to the sailing skill. For the graphically inclined, we'll be running community contests this year to design both the sailing skill icon and the skill cake. For inspiration, here's the placeholder icon that we've been using during development, made by the talented Gentle Tractor. And for any designers out there, we're offering you the chance to design your own island and potentially see it in the game. Look out for the player designed island competition sometime this year too.
And that's a wrap on our update
That's
for
actually
sailing
sick as
today.
fuck.
Thanks so much for watching. This has always been a community-driven project, and we intend to keep it that way, so stay tuned. On that note, if you voted no to the skill, check your inbox for a message from Mod Light, Community Manager on Sailing. We're asking you to fill out a 5-minute survey and help the team make meaningful changes to improve your experience with the skill.
That's so
Increasing feedback
interesting.
representation from all player types
They
will
have
be
that
incredibly
data.
important as development continues.
That's great.
So be sure to stay involved and make your voice heard.
We should make an XP Waste Island where you go there and there's a little podcast studio and
It's literally just it's XPA
Well,
Island.
there we have
There's
it,
a
our latest
bank,
update on
but there's
sailing,
no
which is
fucking
shaping up to
bankers.
be an
See,
extremely
it's just
exciting
bank
skill.
standing
Now, if it wasn't
truly
obvious
with
already,
no
two
XP
things I'm
game
gonna
the
point
whole
out.
time.
First of all, the big text across the video there that said that the footage is not representative of actual gameplay. That was all put together by the wonderful community member Screet Munch. Thank you so much for helping us out with that. But a lot of the assets that are in there were used with plugins and the creator kit plugin. So yeah, they're not representative of what you'll actually see in the game. So don't worry. I know some of the ships look small, some of them look large, and all that kind of stuff. There aren't going to be rockets going off to the moon either, at least not yet. Maybe when we introduce space exploration as the next potential skill, who knows? And then the second thing as well is that it's probably pretty clear that we're not going to be releasing announcing a release date for sailing just yet. What I can say though is that you'll be able to get your hands on the first technical alpha sometime in Q2. Now, to manage expectations, it's not going to be ready before April, but it does mean that you won't have a huge amount of time at least to wait around before you can start getting a hands-on experience of sailing itself. We really are taking this one seriously. As you heard in the video,
Bang,
we want to know from all of
boom,
those of you at
straight to
home who
Daenerys.
voted no to the skill. We want to hear from those of you who are really excited for the skill. We're going to be
A vacation
continually
island
working
would
with
be
the
sick as
community
fuck.
all the way up until the very end, and then even post-release to make sure that sailing is the absolute best that it can be. We as a team are extremely excited to see what we can get out of the skill by working so closely with you. Kieran, could you maybe talk a little bit more about what the team have been up to so far?
Daenerys
Obviously, this
is
is a
the moon.
monumental
Yeah.
task. Introducing the first skill to the game, and one as big as sailing. Like, there's so much content on offer. We've talked about islands, we've talked about raids, we've talked about extra quests, new stories, and all that kind of stuff.
There's an awful lot to do, and there's an awful lot that's been done so far, and an awful lot still to do. I'll give a quick rundown. Some of it's talked about a little bit in the video of some of the things that we've been doing so far. So a lot of work on core infrastructure. So there's our sailing skill in the game that can be earned XP. Oh, that's
We're getting new pets,
saw.
baby.
1.99, you can do it. Woo, we're done. All interfaces, like the skill interfaces, even the genie lamps interfaces, those have been done. The max kit functionality has already been updated, so prepare for that one. There's a skill guide and a level up system. So like these are the beats that all the skills have this. Sailing needs to be part of those too. Ship infrastructure. This is a massive unique element of the sailing skill, right? You've never been able to go to the sea before. You've never been able to properly like own and navigate on your own ship. There's a lot of underlying technical infrastructure that needs to be put in place to do that before we can even get on to like implementing something like Barracuda trials and other gameplay features. So you can actually generate ships. You can own you can even set them from like a collection of presets. You can board other people's ships as well, so you can join somebody else's voyage.
I'm so gonna be a pirate.
Give us your best yar.
I'll have to do it on not on demand. Yeah, sorry.
It's a paid extra.
Yeah.
Whoever owns the ship is always considered the captain. They automatically have like navigator permissions, but you can assign other people to be a navigator and stuff like that. Gameplay, as I said, is mostly going to have to come after technical, but a lot of things, simple things like trimming the sails have started to be implemented. That's already
I'm
earning
very
the sailing
curious, Tiki,
XP.
what they're gonna are they gonna rapid
Ships
fire
are now
these
able
at
to
the
move at
end?
different speeds. I could keep going,
honestly.
right? There's an awful lot,
really hope it's
and a
not
lot
some
of
of them
basic
hours.
design work is really starting to be fleshed out now.
The last
much
ones
more
have not been
thorough
this long. Why did we talk so long about
so that
Varlamore?
it's ready to get going as soon as the
Varlamore is one of the
technical sides are in a
biggest
good
things they're gonna
place.
do
So
this year.
a lot's
And they've
happening.
talked about it for 8
we've also been
months.
bulking out the
We've
team,
known
so
it
there's
was
now
coming.
there's going to be 2 development teams in place.
Yeah, you should
One
have told
that's
Jaggers you have a
focused
date
on
and they could
the
they
core
didn't need
skill,
to talk so
and one
long.
that's more focused on the points of
Start
interest.
an hour
the
earlier
islands,
and we're
what you're going to
chilling.
find out at sea. But yeah, it's
getting late for the
looking
Oi
really good
Brubs,
so
too.
far. Super
Yar!
excited.
Almost 10.
It is looking good. I had to build up the confidence for that one. There you go. Now, I think you kind of covered it, but let's just address it like head on, because I'm sure many people at home are wondering why sailing's taking so long. So what could we share about
is anyone
the
wondering
development of
that?
skill in terms of why it might seemingly be taking so long?
It's massive.
Who
Really easy one to answer.
genuinely is being critical of them for taking a long
expansion,
time?
together with the skill, essentially. Because to sail, you need places to sail to, beyond just the existing land.
What
so
time is
that's
it for you,
part of
Doom?
it. But a skill, it doesn't matter what skill you do, they're big updates. And it's a really
Probably
important.
9:45 for
even more
Doom.
so with our first,
That was
that
a
we
betting
get
man.
it right. It's not something that we want to rush and mess it up. We also want to make sure we're getting the right feedback loops in place, like we did in refinement.
Ew,
that
what
we're
is
carrying on.
21?
Dog,
To make
you
sure
know
that just
military
ultimately
time?
we produce
Hey,
something
it's a
that Ultim
joke.
deserves.
Get off my
that
dick.
Again,
you all
what did we
want to see
just
and
talk
will
about
enjoy
last
when
night?
It releases.
You
Even
need
people
to
who
be
voted
more
no,
definitive
we wanna
with your
make a skill that
sarcasm.
It's still as best as it can be for you as
Just
well.
take the military time and
so
subtract
it really
12.
is like we are going on a voyage.
I know how to
together
do military
as a
time.
community.
That was smooth.
Sure
Okay, so
seems
what's
like
next for
you
the team
don't
then?
there,
What are they
bro.
gonna do?
9:42.
That's the technical alpha. That's obviously as you mentioned, Q2 is when we're looking to get that ready by no sooner
Yeah,
than
Redbeard, it feels
April.
like it's dragging. Yeah.
And they've got a lot of work still to get to that stage, but that's
They're
Did we
behind
just
their
miss-
originally
priority.
projected
We're
time
building-
frame.
Did we just miss
building
the
to
date?
that.
Brilliant.
No,
well,
it's
if
just
you want to get involved in the discussion,
they
share
said,
your
why is
feedback
it
and
taking
keep
so
an eye out for
long?
all of
Because
the
they're behind
blogs
the
and
time
information
frame.
that we have regarding
They said
selling.
the
One is
tech
just
alpha is
now
going to
so you
be
can check out everything in
Q2,
regards
hopefully
to the new
sometime
skill
after
and what's been
April.
going
So
on.
maybe
a
like
little bit more detail
May,
behind the
June.
scenes in terms of the actual
Who
development
knows?
progress. There's a whole bunch of different GIFs and images that are shared within that blog too, which will actually show you what it looks like currently in game to give you an idea of like just how much effort has to go into making this a possibility. But it really is shaping up to be absolutely incredible. Now, I think we should just remind you the fact that the very first giveaway for the board game is live. So remember to use !Discord in the chat for a link to the Old School
not
RuneScape
live.
Discord channel to enter. If you are looking to get a hold of this wonderful board game
They
that's
did all
sat next
three
to
of
you
them.
and
They're
all of the miniatures that
already
are involved,
done.
use !Steam
45
Forge for a link
minutes
to their
ago.
store, because we're going to be giving away a copy of the board game roughly every 5 minutes in the channel on the Old School RuneScape Discord until we announce the final giveaway of the night.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. I've just been informed that it's already been given away. But you should join the Discord
Lumpty ass,
because
Isaac.
we
Come
have
on, get it
another,
together.
Giveaway coming up
He's
just
so
shortly
embarrassed.
after this, which will be for some of the wonderful plushes, which we'll go into. That was meant to be my way of segueing into the next VT, so I'm just going to use it as an opportunity to do that anyway. Roll the tape.
Mod Kirby is what you get when you order Mod Ash from Wish.
Manx so
Love Mod
handsome.
Kirby.
Thank you. I thought these were meant to be bad.
It's going to be called apologies by the end when Jagex inevitably something up.
What the fuck is this?
Deadman is a limited time game mode which has PvP everywhere.
I think you
so
just need to
everyone
text
starts on
your
a brand new
date and let 'em
account.
know. I think I'm
XP
gonna have
rates
to.
are enhanced. You have to
Or just
build
I'm gonna
your
fuck
account
off
for
and
the
just
finale
leave.
where you want to survive as long as you can to try and win prizes.
I've technically won a Deadman mode. Give me these fireworks.
So Deadman started
Wow.
in the early years of old school RuneScape as just an alternate way of playing the game. It got repeated various times over the years with bigger finals.
the guy that
and then we brought
developed,
it back with
Butterfly?
Deadman Reborn, where we introduced
Kirby?
the sigil system. Then we had
You're
Deadman
thinking of
Apocalypse, where I
Molgo
think it was
Kirby.
actually
It's not the
Manx
same
who had the
guy.
idea of, what if we just put a bunch of just bosses into the world at regular intervals?
Ah! I'm gonna die.
Discontinued man mode. Damn, he's right. We have to cancel the entire thing based on this one post. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
This was definitely the most fun demo mode to play in without being a top tier PK. I saw a lot of feedback saying people that don't primarily PK had a great time. Saw a lot of the people that won had a great time because obviously they won money by just playing the game and having a good time. So if you're a PVMer who likes doing new content, or if you're already a veteran at that content but you want to have a
Guys,
completely different
just let 'em-
experience, then
let 'em
Deadman is
cook.
perfect for you. You have different sigils.
Let's enjoy
that
the
completely
content.
shake
Shit is
up the
starting to
meta.
wake up.
They
This
make
shit
you
better
more
hurry up.
powerful,
Exactly.
potentially solo bosses that you never thought you could before.
Like, I'm
and then
sorry,
you have skilling
man.
with the sigils. They make it
Feels
really
like Jagex
worthwhile.
needs to
You
hit the
prize
word count with
resources,
the
and
summit.
it's just super
Exactly,
enjoyable.
Red, dude.
I am
What
about
the fuck are they
print
doing?
billions
Just
of
let him
billions.
Dead Man
Deadman mode is
retrospective.
literally
It
always
was a
dead
total
content
shit
after a
show.
week
Let
or
'em
two
cook.
long, concurrent
Brother,
play
we ain't got
otherwise.
time to cook.
Deadman is
I'm
actually
Gordon
quite
Ramsay
friendly
in the
towards
kitchen. Hurry
solo
the fuck
players.
up.
The prize winnings that you can actually get from Deadman, you don't solely need to be the last surviving player, and that typically revolves around being in a clan. You can participate, kill loads of bosses, do some skilling, and get points and potentially win. So you can be a solo player and still earn a great chunk of the prize pool available. As well as it potentially winning you cash prizes, it will also potentially give you the chance to get cosmetics in the main game, and then you also get
She's
a nice
supposed to
little
be on the
trophy
tape.
based on
Fuck
how many
off,
points you get
Christopher.
to.
No Jads at Breaches.
Try it.
Jamflex Plus. I'm with you. We want to keep it tame for the first iteration of Breaches, just make sure this is something we can actually do. I do kind of want to see if we can go crazier on the bosses this time around. Prepare for many, 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 many Jads.
Building on the success of Deadman Apocalypse, we want to make Breaches a little bit more random, a little bit more difficult. For the finale, we also want to make it a bit more
Texty
chaotic
Daily
because we
stream.
saw the feedback that there just wasn't enough chaos. There weren't enough monsters killing everyone, so we want to work on that and make sure we give the players and the viewers a great experience.
If you like running away from players screaming, which admittedly doesn't appeal to too many people, but you might enjoy it. If you like killing way too many bosses at the same time, if you like getting stupid powerful sigils, because we have those as well, there might be something for you in Deadman.
I think players have come a long way since the last Deadman, and I know a lot of people always question, oh, should I play this Deadman, should I not? And they miss out and they see all the content creators having a great time, so I think a lot of people this time round are going to give it a go.
You got to do it
and
because
it's gonna be a
content creators
crazy
have a
one.
good time doing it.
I mean,
you have to do it.
We do.
Try it.
I love Mod Kirby.
Kirby
So
loves
fucking
Deadman.
silly.
A bit close to the camera there.
I love a good close-up of Kirby.
Some great insight into Deadman Apocalypse. Hopefully the
Please
next
don't
one
do an
isn't
interview.
a Deadman Apologies.
I swear to
as,
God, please don't be an
alluded to there.
interview. If Kirby's sitting on that chair, I'm fucking walking out.
We're now joined by Mod Mount.
Mother
Welcome, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Very excited for this.
Good stuff. Well, before we get
Sorry,
to some
mate,
questions,
I don't care.
I believe Mod IE's is a bit miffed.
Yeah, a little
for
bit. I mean, I don't want to make
fuck's
too
sake.
much of a big deal about it, but I think Kirby was mistaken. I have a feeling that I was the one that suggested the monsters spawn havoc across Gillinor. Was it not, Mank?
No, it
No?
was me.
You may have brought the vision to life, but I brought the vision to paper.
The placement of that plushie gives
no,
a
you
whole
did a
new
really
meaning to
incredible job, though.
KBD.
I'm so grateful to have had you join the team. You and Kirby absolutely smashed their last Deadman with Daizong as well. Really looking forward to what can come with the next Deadman, and so happy that we've been able to announce one so early on as well. So absolutely over the moon with that.
Wake me up when we
You're
get to
gonna
the
have to
good
cheek it
stuff.
out over
Honestly, Jack, I'm in the same fucking boat. Wake me
Yeah,
up
I'm
when
a
this
lover, not a
fucking
fighter,
segment
you
is
know.
over
It's
because I don't give a shit
Alright.
anymore.
Question time. How happy were you with Deadman Apocalypse?
Jesus
I think it
fucking
went really
Christ.
well. The breaches were a nice
Sneaking
addition.
the
It
stream
completely
under
changed
the
up
table
meta,
at the
Kind
date.
of gave people a reason every day to log in and engage with the content. We had
Oh, this is
trinkets
so
as well
fucking
and
ridiculous.
blighted weapons that, again, just very different to Deadman. So it was
You
just
know
a
what?
nice change of pace,
Hold
something
up.
new for players to engage with. And yeah, it was really successful.
What are you doing?
Awesome. So what kind of
I'm
changes
doing a
would you
fucking
want to make with
outfit
the next
change.
Deadman? I know we covered a few in
Okay.
the video, but are there any key ones you want to point out?
So I've got several pages worth of feedback from players,
Guys, I'm
which
so
is
sorry for
amazing,
this.
that we want to implement. Obviously, I think the finale was
He could have just
a little
moved
bit
his camera
underwhelming,
up.
so we want to create a bit more chaos in that, make it a bit more exciting for the players
I'm
and
so sorry for
viewers as
this.
well, and just overall make it just as good as it can be. We've got a great foundation with Deadman Apocalypse, so hopefully the next Deadman will be even better.
Are you expecting sigils more, the same,
course.
better, stronger, weaker?
Rebalanced,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
great.
All right. Looking forward to it. It was honestly such a good addition with the Deadman Reborn. So glad we're carrying on with that too.
Hurry up.
How about for someone who's not tried Deadman? There might be still some people out there who haven't given it a go. Why should they give it a go this time?
So Deadman is similar to Leagues, believe it or not. It's similar because it's enhanced XP rates, everything's different, the meta's completely different. So you can just play the game that you love in a completely different way.
I'm gonna
And
be
yes, there
pissed
are
if Varlamore's
PKs
on
running
there
about,
twice.
but you can just engage with so much content and it's so much fun. Also, last time the prizing, we did it very differently. You could basically PVM the entire time and you could earn prizes, cash prizes from doing that. So we mixed it up so it wasn't so clan orientated. And yeah, regular players that might work a 9 to 5 could still actually win Deadman.
Who knows? Maybe in the next Deadman could be some main game cosmetics as well. That would be exciting. That definitely make me want to continue playing past the point where I die and lose everything. Okay, I'm gonna ask the big question. When can we expect it? When's Deadman come in?
Summer 2024.
No way. it's
Summer.
gonna be this year. Let's go. Okay, I'm really looking forward to working with everyone on Deadman. But Deadman is just one part of PvP, right? There are so many other areas within the game. We've done a huge amount in the last year in regards to PvP. There's still more, but between the Wilderness Boss rework, Bounty Hunter, obviously the long-awaited return of Deadman Apocalypse, we've still got things like the Pol 80 improvements, as well as improving what we've already got in-game as it is. But we do want to look at a little bit more this year in terms of PvP, don't we, Max?
Oh, of course.
I know you can still
I've
hear me,
heard
you
some
rat.
rumors
I'll be back
of
eventually.
The Chaos Temple being
Just
invaded
turn
by
your camera
undead
on, but like
pirates.
tilt your
Do you wanna
camera
maybe
up or
tell us
something.
a little bit
No!
about what that could
Have
be
you seen the stream?
Yeah, so
Have you seen the stream?
basically,
It's
we
I
want
have
to
seen
introduce
it.
a
They'll be
new low-level
okay.
No, they
hotspot,
won't.
into
Turn your camera
Wilderness.
back on.
We think that currently all the activity happens between 20 and 40 Wilderness, and although that's fine, we do want to encourage people to be able to use different builds because so many people have so many cool accounts that they just can't really use that right now because you have to go quite deep Wilderness and then really high levels can attack you. So we want to change up the meta a little bit and mix it up and give those players something to engage with.
Awesome. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky and go over some of the rewards that are proposed. And there is a blog coming out if it's not already out. The wonderful CM team behind the scenes are putting those live as we speak. But we are looking essentially at some rewards that are really focused towards PvPers. And I think one of the main things to emphasize with this update, and I'm sorry if I'm stealing from your thunder here, Max, but it's about targeting updates for people who really care about doing that type of content. So if you're a PvPer, this update's going to be for you. It's not about bringing non-PvPers in and then having them as bait, for example. It's more about creating a hotspot that suits the type of players in the levels that we're expecting them to be in. And the way that we're going to be doing that is by targeting it with rewards. So the first reward that we'll be talking about, and just to preface this, these are all things as ideas at the moment. We want to essentially get your permission to say, should we look into exploring more of these or at least improving the wilderness? And then we'll consult on whether or not these will actually come into the game. But we have the Chivalry Prayer Scroll, which provides an alternative means to unlock Chivalry. Let me talk about that a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we don't want to change how players currently can unlock it because otherwise that's quite unfair. We don't want to force people if they want Chivalry to go to the wilderness and have to get it. So you can still do the quest as you normally would and you'd unlock it that way. However, if you're a pure, maybe you can't do that quest and use that current prayer, we're going to give you a way to be able to do it. It's going to change up the meta for those accounts. It's going to let those accounts fight against higher combat levels that have those better prayers that they currently don't have access to. So it will just hopefully even it up, give more players more content to have access to, and it should just be great overall.
I think so. I think the blog does a really good job of explaining the reasoning behind Chivalry being opened up to more players. But if I can remember correctly, because I had to do the audio read of that blog, is that Chivalry is quite a dead
changing
prayer
his
as it is.
clothes.
It's not really used by many players because you typically have access to piety if you've got access to Chivalry. And the actual benefits that you get from it are quite minor. It's like a 5% increase overall. But
So
what
the
it
stream's
does
a bit
do
jank
is
right
it
now.
opens up PvP to be more accessible, because your alternative to chivalry is to use the 3 standard prayers. You know, the ultimate reflexes, ultimate strength, and whatever, the steel skin, I think it is, maybe. I probably just crucified myself live on stream here. That's like 3 extra clicks to do every time that you're switching, whereas
I don't know why
you can
you can't see
instead
it.
just use 1 prayer. So for a lower level pure account, which is way more accessible and easier for players to get into, that entry point is like the perfect time to be getting into PvP.
Now?
It will help that, and it also helps, as you mentioned, bridge that gap a little bit between different combat builds. We've also got Adamant Seeds, which will be Mithril Seeds that instead of pathing you west, will path you east. So it opens up a little bit more variety in terms of movement, your escapes, maybe even catching that clutch kill. The Blip Blocking Scroll, which was not fun to read out multiple times, I can tell you that, which is a rare scroll that can grant you the ability to block the teleporting powers of the Elder Chaos Druids, because I imagine you're going to be spending quite a bit of time there if you're killing the pirates, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've had experiences where I've been just doing a Slayer task and I've been teleported hundreds of times when a PK is on me. So having that scroll would be very welcome.
Yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, it's actually quite, I don't want to say small, I think that's a bit disingenuous, but it's not like game-changing, game-breaking pieces of content coming in, but they actually make a huge difference to those type of accounts that really want that activity, need those changes, and should hopefully open up a lot of options for them too. So I have to ask, why do we want to create a new level hotspot?
Yeah, so just because, like I said earlier, because currently for those lower levels that have really unique builds, they can't go to many places in the wilderness right now. You go to Revenants and it's all 20 plus wilderness
if they ever fucking got to the next
giveaway. So you have to fight people that are 20 combat levels higher than you, and then obviously you're quite mismatched, so it's not a fun fight. So this will just be a great way for lower levels. All levels can go to this technically if you want to go there and make some money.
That was a proper response.
But lower levels especially will have a good chance, a good fighting chance against anyone who attacks them to actually go to the content and enjoy themselves.
Awesome, thank you.
What about the mechanics of the hotspot? How are they shaking up the wilderness?
I wonder if the Twitch chat is like
so obviously,
telling you to move on.
When you're below 30 wilderness, you can teleport very easily. And currently, most people, if not everyone, will use the standard spellbook to be able to teleport block players so they can't escape that easily. So obviously, with this new update, we want the Elder Chaos Druids to be able to teleport block players, and then they can't escape, which means that opens up players to being able to use the ancient spellbook below 30 wilderness, which is pretty much unheard of right now. And it should also be quite accessible for newer players. If you've never PvP'd before and you have to use a standard spellbook,
no, they're not talking about Deadman
handful.
anymore.
So just being able to use ancients will just hopefully
just
really help those players PK.
PvP changes in the
and
wilderness.
It should just, overall make it a lot more accessible for players.
Awesome, thank you. I mean, how excited are you for this potential update?
I've wanted to talk about this for months now. I'm so happy to talk.
Meg just wants to talk, man.
To everyone about this now, and to talk to the players about this potential update and see what everyone says.
Let the man be excited.
I love that it's bringing life to areas of the wilderness that just don't really see much action anymore. That'll be really nice to see. Is there anything else that you're looking to introduce as part of this update?
Yep, so whenever we can, we're looking to give some quality of life to wilderness areas. We've got I think we want to look into the wilderness course, some wilderness slayer, adding NPCs to various tasks to just make wilderness slayer overall feel better. And then I think also the Fountain of Rune, we want to up the amount of items you can alch per alch. So if you're willing to bring 1,000 rune plate bodies, for example, there, then you could alch 30 at a time, for example.
Ooh.
So if you've got loads of stackable items, you can get through them really fast, but you need to be willing to take the risk because you never know if PK could be there.
That is actually a really interesting way of changing things. So
nice.
All information about those extra little changes that we want to make, they're included within the blog, or at least touched upon. So make sure you go check that one out. Lots of exciting things. And I think one thing that I just want to emphasize
Shifty,
here
that's
is that
totally right.
What we're really trying to do with this change and a lot of the wilderness improvements is see how we can really organically try to bring in more activity to the wilderness, but focusing on those people who want to be there. You know, it is really about trying to create these hotspots in a natural way with rewards that make sense for the type of people that will be going there, that have absolutely zero impact on anyone else in the game should you not be interested in it. These aren't things that you're going to have to go out of your way to go and
How
get.
in the
because
world
it's
did I
gonna
get
help
up
you
for
outside of
10
the main
minutes
game,
to get
unless
ready?
maybe you're playing on a
And they're
specific skill that you need
still
to
talking about
PVM,
this.
but that also opens
Some
up
people
opportunities for you as well. One of the beautiful things
losing
about
my
RuneScape is that
mind.
it can be played in so many different ways, and we cater to so many different account types in this current day and age.
Bro, Otis,
we
you
make
were right.
changes
It's
and
gonna be a
updates for
2.5
everyone
hour
across
show.
the board. I think it's about time that we started showing some love to those more underappreciated
let's see the roadmap.
And deserving, really,
Yes,
players
please,
that
see the
have
roadmap.
helped keep the
I
game
gotta know how
floating
much is
all
left.
this time as well.
Please.
So have a check at the blog. Look at all the information that's in there. Keep an open mind. Let us know your feedback. We'd love to hear it. And fingers crossed, we can see 2024 being the year of the wilderness. That would be great, wouldn't it? Okay, Kieran. Seeing as we did a little oopsie whoopsie earlier when it came to giveaways, which apparently has already finished now, do you want to announce who has managed to win this wonderful board game?
Board game, all these miniatures. Maybe I want to paint them as well. All right, who's won? Winner number 1 is Reynolds.
Woo!
Woo! Winner 2, Tovo.
Let's go, Tovo!
And winner 3 is Hugo.
Let's go, Hugo! Congratulations, everyone, on winning the board game. Maybe we should talk about the last and final giveaway of the night.
KBD.
So, if you happen to have missed out on the iconic NPC plushes last year, we've got some great news because we've partnered with Makeship once more to give you some more plushes throughout this Winter Summit. We are so excited to bring you this new range. You've seen a few of them featured already. I'm going to lean over and get my little baby Elvarg. Look how cute Elvarg is. It is actually so freaking cool. I cannot describe how detailed these are. They feel incredible. They've all got their own cool little accessories. You saw Vorkath being held by Mod Other earlier. We have Mod Manked with KBD on his lap, which is, they're honestly genuinely incredible. I don't know if, Manked, can you maybe like reach up behind you and just show off both of them? I'm going to use you as my model now because I got told off last time for being too awkward with them. So I'll let you guys fanboy over them whilst I read through. So yeah, you can get your hands on Elvarg, KBD and Vorkath in plushie form. As you can see, KBD and Vorkath are both jumbo plushes. Each of them come with accessories, including their very own set of dragon bones. Aww, that's apparently what I was meant to say. Now, keep in mind that these are limited edition, so once they're gone, they're gone. If you're not feeling lucky tonight in terms of the giveaway, then be sure to order them while you can. Head over to our Discord for our very first giveaway, which is of Elvarg. That's Meow Live. Use !Discord to get a link to the server and check out the giveaways channel. And if you want to check out the store itself, !Makeship will give you a link there. And it should also make you aware that there's a multi-buy discount if you want to get more than one. If you buy 2 of them, it's 10% off. If you buy all 3, you get 15%
giveaway
off.
coming, baby. Here we go.
!Discord in the chat for a link to the old school RuneScape Discord
fuck that,
channel
buy
to
another
enter,
9 of them. I
and
get 3, you get 3.
!Makeship for a link to their store. We're giving away a total of 3 plushes, one roughly every 5 minutes or so in the #giveaway channel in that official server. So head on over there, Meow, and make sure that you get involved because if you're not in it, you can't win it.
Literally.
I reckon I need a bit of a breather. So why don't we go into the next reveal?
It's not even the
This
last
one's
one.
a good one.
It's gonna be pets. Please be new pets. Ooh, what the fuck is this?
What?
Hope. Such a pathetic concept.
WGS for sure. Log ethic slaves.
As your heroes lie defeated, ask yourself this.
That's Duradel.
Did you truly have any hope of stopping me?
Turiel?
Slaves.
Power. That is all that matters.
Oh my god, there's the Eye of
To
Jazz.
claim what is rightfully mine. For I am Lord Lucian of the Marjorat. Master of the 1,000 curses.
How could they kill Duradel?
Look upon my words and despair.
Another Grandmaster quest, baby. Let's go.
What is it? Is it AKD going to be a requirement for this one?
It honestly might be.
Of all the many storylines found
So
in RuneScape,
while
few are as
while
memorable
Gothic
as
Sleeps in the
Majorat
main game
series.
involves
Of all of
a
the
shit
quests
ton
in
of
that
main
series,
characters,
none are as iconic
as
as
you
While
saw,
Gothic Sleeps.
Turiel
Originally
and
released
Duradel,
in 2008, this quest
both
set a new
die
standard for storytelling
in the
RuneScape.
quest.
Now, in 2024,
So that's why they said,
While Gothic Sleeps is finally coming to old school. At
That's what
long
they said.
last, you'll be able to re-experience this epic adventure as you set out to try and stop a deadly Majorat from obtaining a powerful artifact unlike any other. But don't get too comfortable. Anyone who's played Desert Treasure 2 will already know that the Majorat storyline is taking its own path in old school. As such, you can expect various changes to the original quest to keep it in line with our vision for this story, along with various quality of life improvements to ensure that it matches up to the standards of a modern quest. To say any more about these changes would be a spoiler, but one thing we can talk about today is new rewards. When it launched back in 2008, While Gothic Sleeps introduced to us the unforgettable Tormented Demons, along with their iconic drop, the Dragon Claws.
Those look so
However,
much cooler
when
than
it comes to
demonic
bringing this
gorillas.
quest to old school, that leaves us with a bit of a problem. Dragon Claws have been in the game since the release of the Chambers of Xeric, and many of the iconic aspects of Tormented Demons have since been used across other creatures, most notably the demonic gorillas. With this in mind, we need to take a new approach when it comes to the rewards on offer from this Grandmaster quest. Now, it's important to note that we're still in the early days on this, but we're keen to share our ideas with you nice and early so that we can ensure they're the direction you want us to take. Firstly, regarding Tormented Demons themselves. With how iconic they are, we're still very keen for these creatures to be one of the rewards offered from While Gothic Sleeps. But that leaves us with some important questions to answer. Should they retain their original mechanics, or should they have
Onyx
something new?
Claws.
Should we move Dragon Claws to drop from them instead of coming from Chambers of Xeric? Right now, our thinking is that we give them new mechanics and new drops to set them apart from similar content, but we'd like to know what you think. Next, and perhaps more exciting, is a brand new reward, the Rites of Balance. Before we get into them though, let's talk about the Ruinous Powers.
It's a new
Most
prayer
people
book.
will be familiar with the Ruinous Powers, a new prayer book that was originally going to be offered as a reward from Desert Treasure 2. Unfortunately, after multiple stages of refinement, we made the decision not to move forward with them. However, we promise to later revisit both
Happy
them
birthday,
and
Nate.
new prayers in general.
Hi,
And that's
Oliver.
exactly
Happy
what
birthday,
we're doing
Nate.
with the Rites of Balance.
Hi,
The
Oliver.
intention
Oh
with the
shit,
Rites
it's
of
Nate
Balance
Dogg's
is to do
birthday?
something a bit different from the Ruinous
That's what I'm
Powers.
talking about.
Rather than a whole new
Hi,
prayer
Oliver.
book,
Hi, Alicia.
we'd like to introduce
This
something
shit's taking
called
way too
God
long.
alignments. The idea is that God alignment prayers are a small set of prayers that are part of your main prayer book. The prayers vary depending on your current God alignment, but you can only be aligned to one God at a time. The idea originally came from a popular player suggestion that
Ooh,
we
nice.
absolutely loved. And with While Gothic Sleeps, we're hoping to introduce the first God alignment in the form of some Gothixian prayers, the Rites of Balance. But of course, a God alignment system with only one alignment would be quite boring, so we're already thinking about what the other alignments could focus on. And yes, that includes introducing the Zerosian alignment as an additional reward from Desert Treasure 2. So there you have
Hell
it,
yeah.
the return of RuneScape's most iconic quest along with an exciting selection of new rewards. And if that wasn't enough, we also have another iconic Majorat
not
quest
all.
making a comeback. Many of you will have already noted that we're missing one key requirement for While Gothic Sleeps in Old School, so we're happy to confirm that Defender of Varrock will also be
Yeah, I
making its return
fucking
this
knew
year.
it. It would be
Just
Defender
like
of
with While
Varrock.
Gothic Sleeps, this will be the Defender of Varrock you know and love, but with various changes to account for the future direction of the Majorat storyline, along with a range of quality of life improvements as well. And with that, all that's left to say is thank you, and we look forward to sharing more information with you very soon.
Oh, good shit. Now they're gonna have a 20-minute interview with Mod Ed.
You think?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's hype shit.
I am hyped for While Gothic Sleeps. I remember playing that on launch day back in 2008, I think it originally came out, right? Really looking forward to seeing that come to old school. Those of you who've been paying attention might have seen we released a big Majorat quest last year called Desert Treasure 2, something we've been working on. And now, obviously upcoming,
They're going hard with
Defender
these
of Varrock
Majorat
and
stuff.
While Gothic Sleeps.
I mean, yeah.
So meow, it's time to talk to Mod Ed
Meow.
to find out more.
You called it.
So,
I'm telling you, they're
is it
releasing
getting
new
old yet?
pets. We're getting a Gertrude's cat too.
It's the penultimate announcement.
Yeah, I love that this is like
right.
last two
Questions.
announcements.
Let's
Forecast
start with
plushie
Defender of
going.
Varrock
Good
before we
shout,
get to the
Tiki.
big
Go
one.
ahead over. Make sure you guys
no, there's
do
a big
that
question before
giveaway.
then.
Is there?
Moded, how are you doing?
You are unbelievable, both of you. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Defender of
thank you.
Varrock probably come
I'm
out
on top of the
next
world.
couple
I'm
weeks.
glad that you're good. I'm sorry to have interrupted your flow there.
Sorry.
Maybe like March,
Defender of Varrock,
April.
before we
Yeah.
get to the bigger
I don't know much
Wildcard
about Defender of
Escapes,
Varrock, but I know it is a
we've released
requirement.
content from post 2007
Because I think
before.
there's like
It's the first
Majorat
time we're doing
involved
this
with that
for a
directly, I'm
quest.
pretty sure.
What is the process like for taking a quest from 2008 and making that work in old school?
Yeah, it's as you say, like bit of a new one for us. We've sort of we've tested the waters a bit by bringing Path of Gluffrey and Land of the Goblins in, but they were quests that we already had pretty much complete in the old school backup. So with Defender
Really?
of Varrock and of course with
Wow.
Wild Gothic Sleeps, it's going to be taking a quest from
Path of Gluffrey
from after
and
that, taking
Land
a
of
quest
Goblins
from RuneScape
were in the
and bringing
backup.
it into old school. And
They were, yeah. They all
people
came
have
out in like
heard
the 2008,
us use the word
2009-ish era, I think.
backport before, but I'm
That's
here to abolish that word today.
Much as
because,
Varlamore, do you think they would release
what
Defender of
we
Varrock
are
so
sort
close to the
of
big
looking
update
at
like
with
that?
these is,
I
guess if you look
Altar
at what
Vestige.
other games do, if maybe some of the stuff we've done in the past would be the equivalent of when games get a remaster, like we've just ported it over, like we've kind of done that, I guess, with like Nex and with the quests I just mentioned. What we're looking at with Defender of Varrock and Wild Gothic Sleeps is more what we'd call a remake. So we're grabbing the stuff from RuneScape as a starting point, and the tools team have given us this amazing new suite of technology to be able to do that in a way that we weren't able to do for other stuff. But pretty much actually as soon as we've got it working in old school, the first thing we're doing is then taking an axe to a lot of it. It is really important that these quests that they're old school quests, and we've been using Defender of Varrock as sort of like the test bed for this process, sort of like with it being a smaller quest, using it to sort of like work out the best way of doing things, so we can then put that into practice for Wild Gothic Sleeps as well. And yeah, it's very much making sure that we're not just, for lack of a better description, copying and pasting. But then at the same time, what would be the point of doing this if we weren't still staying true to those stories? Defender of Varrock itself was written by Paul Gower. Like, as far as old school RuneScape goes and nostalgia, like he's a fairly important guy.
Yeah,
so
you could say he's up there.
yeah, he's like what, like maybe in top 10 maybe. So it's really important that we still stay true to that sort of that rich legacy. Like that's what old school is all about, the rich legacy at the end of the day. And bringing these quests over, it's very much about sticking to that. So yeah, that's why I like using the term remake. It's something that it stays true to the story that they were telling. It stays true to those quests. This is still Defender of Varrock, but it's our take on Defender of Varrock. And then it's going to be the exact same when we move on to Wild Gothic Sleeps as well. That I mean, as we saw in the trailer, like this is Wild Gothic Sleeps. Like it's not anything else, but it's going to be the old school take on Wild Gothic Sleeps.
Awesome. I mean, that sounds like the best way to approach it by all standards, I think.
We have the benefit of hindsight, and we'd be ashamed not to use that as well, right? To improve where we can spot improvements and so on too.
For sure. So assuming that players want it, because obviously it's got to get through the green light, when can we expect to see Defender of Varrock in old school?
So yeah, as I mentioned, because we've sort of been using this as sort of like a test bed to sort of like see if we see what we can do and see how this sort of process would work for future quests. The nice thing about that is that if players want it, we can actually deliver it very soon. In fact, if people vote yes in the poll, we'd be looking to deliver Defender of Varrock next month.
Wow. Okay.
That's soon.
That's pretty
Extremely
snazzy.
soon then. All right. This poll is going to be extremely important, folks. So make sure you do, when it does go live, head over and vote. Because I also recall that we are looking to.
We got
consult the community on some
Varlamore
of the
before
rewards from that
GTA
quest as
6.
well. So we'll need your help to make sure that they are as good as they can be ahead of its
That's
release.
awesome.
So we are going to be working non-stop to make sure that happens.
So Defender of Varrock aside,
KBD
there's
plushies
the much
live,
bigger
folks.
elephant in
Go
the room,
react.
Wild Gothic Sleeps.
Go react. Go react.
How does it feel to be bringing that iconic quest, or one of the most iconic quests in RuneScape history, to old school?
I think it's both. Fair to say, exciting
Remember when I said I
and
want to get my quest kit
terrifying.
this year?
It's very much sort of, what I was saying in that.
Come on, dude. You surely get your best game this year. Let's get her going.
Wanting to stay true to what they did.
I'm
there,
telling
but
you,
also
they need a
make sure it's
Grandmaster
very
quest
fitting
kit.
in old school. But you take Wild Gothic Sleeps, you're talking all of
this
that
is
times
fine.
10.
This is fine.
Let's not being around the bush. Like most people, as most people will say, even now, all these years later, that Wild Gothic Sleeps is their favorite quest. It is the greatest quest I've ever played, and like, I think even people who don't feel that way can certainly probably still admit that it was the one that changed what storytelling was in RuneScape. It was the one that was a very clear step up in sort of like the standards and things like that. So it is. It's a bit daunting to be bringing something like that into old school, especially as I was saying, like how do we make sure that we stay true to this quest, make sure it is still very
having a max cape, Michael
complains
but
make sure
Listen, I'm not complaining.
Like,
Remember? I love this game. I'm just saying. Remember how I said I was going to get it? Now it's harder.
Things have moved on a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not complaining.
Get baby. Get the quest cape.
Looking over these quests already, and
I'm not complaining.
What Gothic Sleeps loves to do is you have to right-click everything. There's like hidden
He just told me, he said, dude, fuck this update. I'm so mad.
Janky, especially on mobile, things like that. Obviously, you want to tie from the gameplay side, but also the narrative side as well. As you mentioned earlier, there was a little quest we launched last year, Desert Treasure 2. Nothing particularly exciting happened in it, but it does still mean that there's some slight maybe differences happening in the Marjarat storyline, and making sure that that our version of Wild Gothic Sleeps accounts for those, and that it complements what Desert Treasure 2 did. And I think some people might
even
remember
harder fucking bosses.
Talked about this before. I think when we did the lore Q&A after DT2 launched, I think I remember saying then that the way we're viewing the Marjarat storyline is that we have these two sort of like major threads coming together. One of the really nice things about the Marjarat storyline is that it's not very linear. You start with all these individual Marjarat quests. They don't seem interlinked. They all start coming together, and we're starting to see now they've been like combining to create these two major threads. We've got Desert Treasure 2 and, spoiler alert, Sliskay and the Elder Horn. And obviously, spoiler alert for 2008. I'm really sorry if you haven't played it, but... and also, we showed it all in the trailer, so oopsie daisy.
I don't want the
Luciad and the
spoilers.
Stone of Jas, and then culminating together in our own Marjarat finale. So
Spoiler
the
free.
one thing we can obviously say from that right now is, we're not going to be doing our own version of Ritual of the Marjarat. In fact, there will be a different finale. We're not going to be looking to do a remake or remaster,
Not
whatever you want to
Ritual
call it,
of
of that
Marjarat,
quest.
okay.
So we're going to be making sure that Wild Gothic
You have
Sleeps
30 seconds for the KBD plushie.
fits with what we're planning to do for that big epic quest that comes at the end of it all. But
Oh,
that's
what
one
a
to talk
day.
about another day.
Yeah, maybe in a different summit at a later date, not for right now. But very interesting, at least. It's definitely good to keep, good to know that it's been kept in mind. Now, the quest itself isn't the only iconic thing on the menu. We've obviously talked a little bit about rewards and that kind of stuff. And there's the infamous Tormented Demons. I remember them so well back in the day. They obviously used to drop dragon claws. We have those now in chambers. What are our plans with the Tormented Demons in old school?
So, kind of a similar attitude to the quest, but it's a little bit more awkward with Tormented Demons. So, like, we want to take that same attitude
Morning,
of
Jake Newton.
these are very iconic, very memorable. As you say, like everyone
Morning.
remembers like fighting them both in the quest itself, like that
Must
big
be
moment at the end of
Australia.
the quest where you fight them, but then also obviously having them after the quest as well. Like we want to retain that. They're a very important part of this. So like we will be doing Tormented Demons as part of Wild Gothic Sleeps, but probably even a bit more so than the quest itself. They kind of do need to take their own direction because we kind of already copied them a few years ago when we
morning
didn't have
indeed.
the benefit of hindsight and never thought we'd be doing Wild Gothic Sleeps. Went, yeah, let's just do that and put it in Monkey Madness 2. And now we're sat here going, crap, we shouldn't have done that, should we? But we're here now, so we need to find that sort of mid-ground between retaining like what made them iconic, but also giving them something new and fresh. That's both in their mechanics, and the way you fight them will likely be quite different, but also obviously the rewards. As we mentioned in the video earlier, we've got a bit of a dilemma there with the Dragon Claws.
Didn't win.
Copy
Guess
those
I'll
as
have to
well.
buy
They
the
already
plush.
exist.
My thoughts
with our
exactly. I was gonna say, I feel like if Jake is saying
forward-thinking
good
back with
morning,
Chambers
he's
of Zerek.
Australian.
So
I think it would be a sad old school though if we didn't have claws in for as long as it's been around now. I
That's-
imagine waiting
yes.
10 plus years would be a bit of a a sad day.
So yeah, there's sort of that question there of like, do we take them out of Chambers of Zerek, put them on Tormented Demons? You know, we've done that before with other dragon items from Chambers of Zerek. Even now, there's still sort of like often a consensus that Chambers of Zerek probably has a few too many rewards. Though obviously, as we saw when we moved other dragon items out of Chamber of Zerek, their value did drop because they became more common. Let's be honest, nobody gave a crap about doing that for those dragon items. Someone probably really actually cares, and I'm probably really upset.
I mean, those dragon
I'm so sorry.
harpoons from Worms, I was grateful for it. I got one of my irons, so you know.
Someone's probably just like, how dare you? Like, the stack of 1,000
Having dragon items
I think as well,
raid
moving the dragon sword off was probably
kind
like
of
one
cringe.
of the biggest like benefits. Because
So I'm glad they did it.
See that dragon sword in
For
on
the
there.
sword and the
Yeah, so it's
harpoon,
with those, it's all like, yeah.
Claws,
as
at
you
this
say,
point,
like,
claws are just so
their
ingrained as part of
value
chambers
was
that I
only
think it makes
because they're
sense.
from chambers.
Yeah.
They weren't actually really valuable.
But
So
it's always a little bit
it was probably
different,
okay
so-
for them to drop in
I don't know
value.
if they should
Bit
move
more of
it.
a question mark with claws. Do we want it to drop in value? Probably not, but. So we'd probably have to make them rare if we did do that. And even then, we'd probably still want to do something new as well. So
Yeah.
there's a few things for us to think about there.
Onyx
where we want to
claws,
go.
come
We're
on,
going to be
man.
asking a couple of, on the poll later, we're going to be asking a couple of sort of like opinion questions.
I
Sort of
don't
like
know, what
game
comes after
direction people
dragon?
want us to take with those.
That's the beauty of what we do here, isn't it, right? Is that
No
we can't
idea.
make a decision ourselves, and well, pretty much always when it comes to something like this, we ask you what you want because you're the ones that will be playing for the rest of time just alongside of us. So, yeah, expect to see that, and you'll be able to shape the decision of what actually happens with those. So, really looking forward to seeing how it comes together.
Really good
Surely
way of
there's
wording it. It's
nothing
my
after
way.
this,
My way of
right?
wording it would just be, I don't know what to do. You decide.
I fucking hope
He's all right
not.
with saying
Barrow's
it.
claws.
You can tell
Arrow's
me
claws would be
community
pretty
manager.
fun.
Or an upgrade to the dragon claws, right? Fear's right.
How do you upgrade dragon claws?
The other thing we
Trimmed.
I've been sat here complimenting you, and I've lost all my talent.
Kieran, you will never lose all of your talent. You're literally purely bred out.
They already
talent.
have a dragon claw ornament kit though.
We
so that's
mentioned the
a
god
little different.
alignment system. We mentioned that it's this awesome community idea. Really, why we decided to try and take this forward?
So,
Great guns.
like, honestly, like, I mean, no, like the credit entirely goes on the players for this one. I know.
Yeah, they.
Pretty sure the
surprised
summer
too.
summit was only
But,
like an hour and a half.
I
Yeah,
know,
this
dude.
suggestion
They're
came
literally
from
they're
the player
taking
base,
so
and we
long.
absolutely
They
fell in
announced a
love with it. It's
fucking
fair to
raid
say
in one of the
we
summer
got it a
summits.
little
It
bit
was
wrong
an
with
hour
Rune's
long.
powers. And they came out with a suggestion, and then
I'm not
we just
complaining,
absolutely
it's
fell in
just
love with
like-
it. And to be honest, ever since then,
This
we've
is
sort
a
of
long
Only
time.
complaining
what would
we have a
be
date?
the best way
Yeah, I
to do
know.
this. And when we were thinking about rewards for While Gothic Sleeps, like we knew we wanted to do more than just for Tormented Demons, not just because, you know, it's something people have seen before and we wanted to
Summer
do
Summit was
something
2
new, but
hours?
also
Okay.
when we look at other Grandmaster quests we've done, they have a bit more reward-wise than While Gothic Sleeps did. So we knew we wanted to do something new. We knew that we really wanted to explore this God alignment
This has got to be
idea.
the last one.
And they just fit really nicely, like a quest
Maybe we're
about
really
Gothics
reaching
where
with
you
the
uncover,
meows
like,
and the
lost
barks
secrets
and
of
stuff.
Gothics, including this
Like, how do
ancient
you
temple
do-
where he's hidden all sorts of bits and bobs. Like, it just
How would
fit as
you
a really
just
good opportunity. And
thematically
I think the other nice thing
go
about Wild Gothic Sleeps is sort of like
the
it gives us a bit
Grandmaster
of time to
quest,
explore
oh,
that as well, because we're not having
Gertrude's
to focus
Cat
so much
2
on designing the quest because
as the
somebody
last
already did that
announcement.
quite a few years back. But we have a bit more time to sort of really dig deep into what a God alignment system could look like. So obviously the real challenge isn't
Is the roadmap
also
being
just,
updated on
the first God alignment
the
with the rights
blog?
of balance for fixing prayers, but also it'd be a bit of a rubbish God alignment system if it was only ever had one. As we said in the video, we're
Oh, no.
really keen to explore.
The roadmap is complete.
Like, how could we like take
This is the
what
last
we
one.
had with Ruinous Powers and like combine it with
Mhm.
God alignment system, and maybe like a new form of Ruinous Powers like would be delivered through the God alignment system. And as I think we said, that you know we'd want to do that as as a new reward for Desert Treasure 2. But you know, there's plenty of other gods out there as well. Like thinking about how can we make sure that
If you look
those
at the
all
most
work.
recent
So,
blog,
now this is all
now
very early
it's-
days, and
the
we
roadmap
don't
is
want to make the same
complete.
mistake we made with Ruinous Powers. So you know, setting expectations like very, very clear. Like if this doesn't work, we won't do it. Like we don't even if it works in a sense that we can come up with one really good God alignment, we need to be able to come up with multiple.
Yeah.
So even if we come up
Varlamar
with one
got
good
2.
one, we still probably won't do it. We might do those in a bit of a different format, but the hope is, yeah, we can come up with a few great God alignments. And you know,
The map
start
is
with
complete,
this
Oxy.
fixing one, but
We're-
then be able
we're
to
done in
deliver
the next
more,
few minutes
hopefully a
here.
few
Oh, don't
fairly
worry, I
soon
heard
after,
you.
'cause
I
again,
know.
Oh,
bit of a
okay.
rubbish God alignment system.
Trying to
You
get
only
your
aligned to
reaction
one God.
here.
Even if there's the prospect of like, oh, maybe in 3 years they might add another one. Like, so we'd probably want to be in a place where we'd feel comfortable saying, right, you're getting the fixing ones now. We're doing the Zerosian ones. Maybe like I don't know, like a I shouldn't say anything because people will start me on community. I literally just said
a little while afterwards.
Yeah, I literally just said we're not promising everything. we might cancel it altogether. And now I'm already trying to
undetermined amount of
story work announcements is weird. No new pet announcements.
I think
also
people get
kind
the
of
point
weird.
I'm still trying to make, but we want to make sure that we can, deliver a god alignment system that has multiple different god alignments that all feel like notable choices, that you're never just sticking to the same one, that there's reasons to jump back and forth between them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think it's an L. Everything they announced today was
powers and seeing
top
that came into
notch.
fruition.
No,
It's a
not
really
an
good
L
way
at
of us
all.
approaching it, and I love the way that you touched on the fact that the
I
quest
think
itself
they just
is,
took far too long.
Basically designed. Yeah, there are tweaks that are going to be made, but a lot of the focus can be on that. Whereas with Desert Treasure 2, it was a brand new quest, a whole bunch of new bosses, all the uniques from them, and then the prayers on top. It was just way
And then it's
too
a bit
much
of
to
a cop
handle,
out
but
to do Varlamore
thankfully,
Part
we still
1
got
and
to try it out in the
Varlamore
leagues
Part
though,
2.
which was really, really fun. So it gave you a little bit of a taste of what you can expect with new prayers and how that can change up the meta. So really, really excited to see what the community think of that. Make sure you go check out the full blog. I want to say a huge thank you, Ed, for joining us on the sofa. I think we should probably go over the reveal of the full roadmap now. Because I know that you've got to go
did
off
talk
and
about
do
the
some
weird
little
shit on
technical
Twitter.
work
You're
behind the
correct.
scenes.
Damn,
So,
thought for sure we were
yeah,
getting
I
new
think
pets.
so.
Oh well.
Unfortunately, maybe you're not going to be so okay now. I shouldn't have asked how your day was. Can
Oh,
we
is
show
that
up the
what-
image of the roadmap, please?
Is that what
What have we
the
got in store
meows
for
were?
us?
Yeah.
Fill in all the blanks. There we have it. With the
Perfect.
release dates where we can. So we've got Scurious literally coming out next week. The first update following the summit. Really excited to see how that one goes down. I think
That's
it's
4
a
days from
great
now.
new piece of content for everyone
Which
to
is
get
whack.
engaged in. Obviously, the focus of Scurious
Interesting.
being
This coming
combat
Wednesday.
experience, but it
Interesting
really
is
is
why they
meant to
threw
be
all
helping
Inquisitor
to
and
bridge the
Nightmare
gap
lore into the
between
bin.
low level
Such a cool
to high
theme.
level
Maybe they
PVM.
haven't thrown
So
it
if
into
you've
the
not
bin, maybe
really
just
had
put it on the
chance to
back burner
explore
right now.
PVM as a whole, this is going to be a really good way to do it, and it's not going to feel like a waste of
Because
time.
if you
either,
talk about
because you're
god
also gonna get
alignments,
some of
right,
the
I'm
best
pretty
XP
sure
rates for
Nightmare
combat in the
and the
game,
Inquisitors
and then you
as
can
a
snag
whole
some
have
juicy
Zamorakian
with the Ratbone weaponry
origins,
as
so-
I
well.
thought they were Ceradomin.
They
Good
were,
stuff.
but they turned to
Defender of
Zamorak.
Varrock next.
Ceradomin
We
just
said
this
it's
year
next month,
became
so you're looking at
Zamorakian. That's how we got
fairly
Inquisitor
darn soon.
armor.
Next March
Oh.
That's also why
stories, what
Ceradomin
just
Inquisitor,
talked
or
about.
Ceradomin just
Really
issue
exciting,
armor
really
is part
sets
of
up,
Theater of
the
Blood.
later one
'cause
down the line.
It really
she
does.
just fucking
And then
took it all,
shortly
you know?
afterwards, also in spring, we're hoping to bring out that wilderness update that we talked about with Mod Manked. Now, this is obviously isn't Deadman because you can see that's a little bit later in the year, but we have a really great opportunity for the first half of this year to look at making some general improvements to the wilderness, spread some love out to
You
those
definitely did
underutilized or at
tune
least
that out,
accounts
Beard.
that can't really get the access to
Who tuned
fights
what
that they
out?
want to as
Redbeard said he
easily,
must have tuned
by
it out. When did they
introducing a
cover
new
Wildy
level
updates?
low-level hotspot
I was
at the
bitching
Chaos
about Manx
Temple,
still talking,
and some
that's
really
why.
cool rewards that are specifically for people who care about PvP. So I really love the fact that this is something that if you don't care about PvP, you don't have to worry about the update. If you care about PvP, then it's absolutely for you. So definitely go check out the blog on that one. And that leads us into
The whopping big Varlamore area expansion on March 20th. There's so much content here. There's a Colosseum with a new wave-based minigame. There's a thieving activity in the sea. There's a hunter guild. Help me out here. What else we got?
We also have the new agility course,
Here's the
although I
thing,
do have to
folks.
say I've been
I have to
advised
leave
that,
here
inform
myself.
you all that out of the entirety of Batch 1 with Volamore's expansion, the agility
they keep talking. They
activity
just
is
keep
the one
on
that's
talking.
not going to be ready on the 20th of March. Everything else turned
I'm
into
turning the
sort of a
stream
party.
down
That's gonna
only
be coming a
slightly
little bit
because
later
I
on. We're gonna have to
myself
wait a
am
huge
probably
amount
going
of
to
time.
have to give
So yeah,
a
an
bit of a
absolute
goodbye here
jam-packed
soon,
full
which I'm
of
disappointed at for
You
a
are
lot
gonna
of
be keeping
reasons.
yourselves busy for weeks with all of that.
I'm not disappointed. I'm super excited to go out tonight, but I don't like leaving this kind of stuff in a rush. I don't want to leave my computer on either. That also sucks. I'm also 7K away from my next mining level, so like it took them forever, but also somehow not long enough. Like, what the fuck? Get it together,
another
Jagex?
15 minutes.
Yeah, I need another 15 minutes, and then we're good to go. But I just finished a sack at MLM, so that's quite literally no better time to go than right now.
Find out the new stories, the quests in there.
Yeah, I don't want to like shut everything down right this second. So I'm gonna try to bleed this out for another 2 minutes before I literally fucking race out the door to go.
Oh my god, how good is that? What a great way to inform you to check
Yeah, we'll
it
have
out.
a lot more thoughts
Everything
on the
that's
next
gonna be coming out in
episode.
Batch 1 is in the big
Probably not the
blog.
next
It's one of
episode.
the biggest
Sorry,
blogs
2
we have out
episodes from
there.
now.
We've
Yeah.
condensed all of the
The
previous
pet
ones that
announcement
we
was
put
the
together
scariest pet.
into
Yeah,
one
exactly.
page. Thank you so much to the
But it's
Simpsons
not
for
called
doing that.
Roo Woo.
And
whatever
then,
it is.
after Volamore Batch 1 releases, we can talk about Deadman again, because it's going to be coming out.
We
in
can
the
end it
summer.
now. They're just
So a
they're just
whole new Deadman
Yeah,
episode.
they are
Learning
reviewing.
a lot from what we,
whatever we
did
So
with
kept
the
if you
podcast.
guys don't mind,
Improving
I'm
upon
going
that.
to close
As Matt
this.
mentioned,
Mike,
we've got
Michael,
pages and
get
pages
us on the
of
double
feedback.
screen,
Super
baby.
enthusiastic team. Really looking
There
forward
we
to
are.
seeing how that one comes
All
out.
right, folks. This is where this episode ends, at least for me. Cause yeah, I gotta go, guys. I really gotta go.
This was
yeah.
fun. Thank you for
This was
tuning in.
fun.
Yeah. If you're watching this after the fact, thanks for watching it again. This would be fun to keep doing for future content releases and stuff. So look forward to more streams from us in the future. We're working on getting a Twitch channel set up for XP Waste. And so I don't know, we're not going to promise anything, but we definitely want to start streaming on Twitch more often. Not on our schedule by any means, but more often when we do. Often enough. So you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. If it's Sunday for you Aussies, welcome to the day Chick-fil-A's closed. Oxy, have fun on your date.
I'm gonna have a fucking blast.
Yes. You guys, we'll catch you on the next one, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. There it is. It's got all our stuff. Okay, bye.